Live from the Winter Sports Center at the University of North Dakota, WDAZ Sports presents the WCHA Playoff Championship with the WCHA champion Fighting Sioux versus the Minnesota Gophers. Sponsored by Miller Lite, Lever's Super Value and Warehouse Foods, Hanson Ford, First National Bank Grand Forks, Acme Electric, Norby's Office Services, Thompson Insurance, Northern Liquidators, Valley Car Wash, Silverman's, the Grand Forks Convention and Visitors Bureau, Home of Economy, Fat Alberts, Modern Chrysler, Grand Forks Elks, Realty World, Town and Country, ID Motors, Jarrell's, Grand Forks and Devil's Lake, the Red River Valley Potato Growers, Freilich Paulson Moore Insurance, Solom's Country Store, and Valley Honda.
Yesterday, Friday the 13th, was anything but unlucky for the North Dakota Sioux. They had 4 players named to the All-WCHA first team. Tony Herkus was voted the league's most valuable player. John Gino Gasparini was named WCHA Coach of the Year, and the Sioux capped the day with a 5-3 win over the Gophers. They'll try to keep that luck going tonight in Game 2. Good evening to you. This is Pat Sweeney along with former Sioux Dean Barsness, live at the UND Winter Sports Center. Tonight, Game 2 of a 2-game total goal series for the WCHA Playoff Championship as the Minnesota Gophers come in to take on the Fighting Sioux of North Dakota. Dean, a close, entertaining game last night. We're looking forward to another one tonight.
It was really, Pat. The fans were really entertained with a good hockey game last night. It was 2 just classic hockey teams from this league, the top 2 teams from the regular season, and it was really a classic hockey game, classic college WCHA hockey game. It was a lot of grinding, a lot of bumping. It was real tough hockey. Talking to some of the players and coaches after the game from both teams, said both teams were very tired after last night. So it was a very tough hockey team for these 2 teams. I hope they got a good night's rest and they're ready to go again tonight.
North Dakota is up by 2 goals in this total goal series. Certainly the series is not over yet as the Minnesota Gophers have an explosive offense. They are not about to quit. The starting lineup tonight for Minnesota: John Blue will be in goal once again. Todd Richards and Gary Schopek at the defense. On left wing, Dave Snuggerud will start. He scored 1 goal for the Minnesota Gophers last night. On the right side, Tom Chorsky moving up to replace David Granis on this line as Coach Doug Woog juggles his lines a little bit. Corey Millen will be the center. Millen, the leading scorer on the Minnesota hockey team. For the North Dakota Sioux, WCHA regular season champions, it'll be Ed Belfour. 26 saves last night for Steady Eddie, the #1 rated goalie in the WCHA. Murray Barron will start at the left defense. On the right side, Ian Kidd, the sophomore from Gresham, Oregon. Kidd picking up 1 assist in last night's game. Left winger tonight will be number 20, Bob Joyce, the junior from Winnipeg, Manitoba, and the #1 goal scorer in NCAA Division I hockey with 48 goals. Brent Bobick starting at right wing. He's a freshman from Regina, Saskatchewan. And at center, Tony Herkus, who scored his 100th point last night. He's the first Sioux player to reach that mark. Let's take a look at those Sioux scoring leaders. Herkus with 100 points. Joyce next with 81, and Johnson is third. For the Gophers, Millen leads it with 61 points. Steve McSwain is second at 58. Then it's Dave Snuggerud. The season series between these teams, back in November in Minneapolis, the team split. But the next 3 in Grand Forks, the Sioux took them all. We'll be back with the start of the game after this.
In 1973, a small bar served the first light beer. The response was unanimous.
Tastes great.
Here was a beer with its own special brewing process.
Less filling.
It's brewed from the ground up, not watered down.
Tastes great.
It's less filling.
Today there are lots of lights around, but none are brewed like Miller Lite, and none can match the taste.
Tastes great! Tastes great!
Hey, doll, sounds like our kind of place.
Oh, Ricky,
There's only one light beer, Miller Lite.
Great meals start from great beginnings. That's why we choose to offer you only the freshest, most delightful vegetables. We take pride in our quality meats because we know you take pride in your tender, juicy meals. It's no accident that the fruit you get from us is so succulent and sweet. We have quality beginnings, so you can have satisfying endings. We're Warehouse Foods in Langdon and Cavalier.
Welcome back to the UND Winter Sports Center in Grand Forks, North Dakota. This is Pat Sweeney along with Dean Barsness. Just moments away from game number 2 in this 2-game total goal series. North Dakota winning last night's opener 5-3. And again, the importance of this series, the winner will probably get a home berth in the NCAA quarterfinals next week, and the loser will probably wind up playing out east. A lot of probablys involved when you're dealing with NCAA selection committees. I'm sure we'll be talking about that later on throughout the course of the game. Ed Belfour starting in goal for the Sioux again tonight. He's won 15 of his last 16 starts and has a 3-1 record against Minnesota this season. Coach John Gino Gasparini for North Dakota now is 3-1 against the Gophers in playoffs. He is 3-0 in Grand Forks. The only loss to the Gophers in the playoffs came in the '79 NCAA title game in Detroit, in which the Gophers took that national title 4-3. John Blue getting the call in goal for the Minnesota Gophers. Coach Doug Woog thought that Blue let in a few easy ones last night, but Blue in there again, Mr. Steady. He is 7-2-1 in his last 10 starts, as Doug Woog hopes that the Gophers can rebound from last night's 2-goal loss. The officials for tonight's game, the referee will be Mito Martinello from Windsor, Ontario. The linesman, Mike Tock of Duluth, and Bill Wasserman of Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. They've attended to the patchwork on the ice. Well, they've got a few more holes to fill here, so there will be another delay. Dean, I don't know. I'm kind of scared of the Gophers. We've had such tight games with the Sioux and the Gophers all season long. This is certainly not over by any means.
No, and they're a very, very good hockey team, as we found out last night, and they played a very good hockey game last night. They didn't play that well when they were here during the regular season, but last night they came ready to play, and they had it in their eyes that they were here to play.
brings it out for North Dakota to Steve Johnson. Johnson across the Gopher line. Johnson a shot, and that's wide off the mark. On the far boards, it comes out. Cates for Minnesota, one-on-one with Benson. Cates across the line, feeds in the slot to McSwain. Backhand save, the rebound, oh! As the Gophers had a chance there, and Belfour stopped him. A one-on-one break turned into a two-on-one. Nothing with 17:56 to go, first period. Action at center now, and it's intercepted by the Gophers. Slapping it there is Hankinson. He hits Broughton with it. And Scott Doob picks it up for North Dakota. Val Parks now tried to get it back to Doob, and Berglund gets a stick on that. Koberinsky takes over for the Sioux. Kober goes back into his own zone, and it's over here for Kidd. Berglund and Parks go checking after the puck. Parks flips it in. Blue the save. He'll direct it out of trouble to Pitlick. Peter Hankinson sends it down the ice, and an icing call coming up here. And they'll bring it back for a face-off. I don't know if you folks at home had any problems with your picture, but our power apparently went out here. We apologize if there were any technical difficulties. We've got 17:15 to go, first period, no score.
Well, Minnesota knows they have to come out of the chute tonight, and I think they are. They had a good shift there to start the game, good two shifts to start the game, and they have to be very careful at this point, because if they get down a goal, 2 or 3 now, all of a sudden it's 5 because they lost by 2 last night. They're in some serious trouble, so they know this first period is very important for them.
Jeff Bowen comes out for North Dakota with Perenika and Nakonechny at the wings. Steve Orth on the draw for the Minnesota Gophers. He's got Scott Bloom and Randy Skarda on his side. Comes back to Mike Lemoyne. Around it goes Schopek. Pokes it for the Gophers. Skarda and Perenika in a tie-up. The whistle goes, and they'll face it off.
And the same goes for North Dakota, of course, too. You know, talking of the first period, North Dakota scores 2 or 3 quick goals. Minnesota, they hope, will start packing their bags at that time. So the first period in this type of a scenario where what happened last night is extremely important. Even the first 10 minutes, for that matter, sets the tempo.
Now Nakonechny moves in to face it off with Orth. Comes back to Lemoyne again. He shoots, and it's deflected as Todd Richards goes down. Bloom got a piece of that, excuse me. Perenika tees it up for Lemoyne again, and that's stopped in front by Blue. Big pile up in the corner now. Puck squirts loose. Here's Nakonechny cutting to the net, and that's broken up. Now Steve Orth skates away to Randy Skarda. Has Bloom breaking and dumps it in. Ed Belfour shovels it over on the near side. Parent goes down, picking it up is Schopek in front, and it's sticked aside by Belfour. Off the glass, Nakonechny plays it. He's tied up on the plate. Chorsky carries into the corner. He goes down. Lemoyne now. Puck dribbles behind the net to Russ Parent, number 17. The freshman from Winnipeg leading the Sioux rush over here for Perenika. Tied up by Millen. Backhands it in, but Bowen was offside. 16 minutes and 12 seconds remaining. And there is no score. The Sioux lead in total goals, 5-3.
Talking to some people last night after the game, coaches, fans, and whatnot, they seem to all see that North Dakota took a little while to get their tempo up to Minnesota's game. Thought maybe playing CC and Michigan Tech the 2 weeks before got them kind of into more of a slow-tempoed game, and took them a while to maybe pick it up a little bit.
Here's Herkus in front. He scores! Tony Herkus with his 42nd goal of the season.
Well, here's Brent Bobick on the boards. He kicks it off his skate. Tony Herkus just turns around, puts it up high over John Blue, who was on his knees. Watch what happens on the board. Ian Kidd gives it down to Bobick, who just kicks it off the boards right out to Tony Herkus. He just does a 180-degree turn and just slaps it at the net, and it goes over John Blue's shoulder.
Tony Herkus from Bobick and Kidd at the 4-minute mark. And North Dakota takes a 1-0 lead in the game. 6-3 lead in total goals. What a weekend for Herkus. He now has 101 points. He needs one more assist to tie, or to break Mark Taylor's record of 59 assists in a season. Herkus and Taylor currently tied with that mark. Obie Baker finalists, what more can you say?
Well, there's Brent Bobick. Like I was telling you in the replay, he made a real nice play, not even with his stick. He was right against, he had his back against the boards. He just turned his skate for the right angle and kicked it out to Herkus.
Here's Bobick on the backhand, the save, the rebound, bouncing puck, and it's stopped by Blue. As the Sioux are swarming the net now. In front, the Gophers pass it. Dornfeld has trouble, this is Herkus. In front, it goes through the slot as Joyce was on the doorstep. Now Chorsky feeds it to Millen. Tried to play it back, and the Sioux regain control with Herkus. Tried to spring it ahead to Bobick, and that's batted down by Dave Snuggerud off the stick of Granis. Now Joyce trying to get it to Herkus, and Espy steps in the way of that pass. Espy goes down, and a penalty coming up here on North Dakota. Joyce touches the puck, and a Sioux penalty here with 15 minutes remaining.
Well, here we'll see the penalty. It's called on Brent Bobick. Should have been Ian Kidd, actually. Ian is the one that grabbed him by the waist, and he went down, and they called Brent Bobick for the penalty.
Hooking on Bobick at the 5-minute mark, and the Gophers go on the power play. Last night, Minnesota 0 for 4. The Gophers have the #1 power play in the WCHA with a 28% success ratio. The Sioux killing off 85% of their penalties. That is the best in the WCHA. All the goals last night, incidentally, were scored at even strength. Dube and Kobarinski up front to kill it off for North Dakota. This is Gary Schopek at the point for the Gophers. Richards now over here for Hankinson. Fans on the shot, and Kobarinski taps it aside. Oh, the puck bounced right to Belfour at the side of the net, and he freezes it. Broughton, Hankinson, and Bloom up front for the Gophers on this power play. As Woog usually goes with the Snuggerud, Millen, and McSwain trio.
Well, you saw 28% up there for Minnesota's power play. North Dakota gained a lot of respect for Minnesota's power play last night. Even though they didn't score, they really work it around very well, and they've got some very talented players up front to run that power play.
And the Sioux, incidentally, the #2 power play right behind at 27%. Doug Woog tried to make a late change by sending Steve McSwain out. Martinello blew the whistle. Now Woog tries to send Snuggerud and McSwain out. Martinello says, get back to the bench. They were all set to drop the puck, and Woog tried a little late change and didn't get away with it. Dube clears it. 1 minute, 37 seconds remaining on the North Dakota penalty to Bobick. North Dakota leading in the game 1-0 on a goal by Tony Herkus. Here's Scott Bloom, stopped by Kidd, and Kobarinski clears but not out. Kober gets it again and sends it down the ice. .1:15 to go on the penalty. Now Millen backhands it into the corner for Minnesota. Kidd gets to it. Lemoyne misses at it. Dube gets to it. He can't clear it. Held in by Snuggerud, who goes down. But Kidd stick handles it out of trouble and clears, but it's held in. Here's Snuggerud whipping it in front, and it goes through everybody as Kobarinski was right there. Millen with the puck. As McSwain behind the net. Dishes off back here for Richards. Over for Schopek. He shoots. Belfour the stop, and it rolls to the corner. 31 seconds to go on the Minnesota power play. Puck squirts loose to Kobarinski, and that will kill off more time. Herkus and Joyce now out for the North Dakota Sioux. We're down to 14 seconds on that Minnesota man advantage. Here is Schopek leading the Gophers up ice. Benson in a race for it. Joyce slaps it out. Now Blue with Herkus closing in. The puck deflects right in front, but Schopek is there. North Dakota's penalty is over. Loose puck, Bobick pokes it loose, and it's whistled offside. A stop in play. We'll take a break.
When I used to compete for girls swim team of East Germany, my comrades and I always loved to come to America.
Yeah.
We love the stylish clothes and late night TV.
Yeah.
But most of all, we love the Miller Lite.
Yeah.
It is truly superior beer. Not only tasting great, but also less filling, which is very important to comrades and I, so to keep the girlish figure.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, cute, huh?
All over the world, there's only one light beer, Miller Lite.
12:54 to go in the first period. 6-3, North Dakota leads in total goals. The winner will get home ice in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Oh, Randy Scarta with a big check there on Russ Parent on the far boards. Taking it back is David Espy for the Gophers. Pass behind Broughton, but it gets by out to the neutral zone. Here's Bobick teeing it up for Herkus, moving in. Herkus backhand, the save by Blue. Herkus gets it back. Centering pass is deflected wide. And Benson will regroup for North Dakota. To Joyce now. Off the stick of Herkus, bouncing puck. Sent back outside the line. Benson whips it back in. Puck rolls back to the Sioux. And it's Benson, number 6. Rink widening it, too far for Krumpetich. An icing call here. We'll take a 10-second break. With 12 minutes to go, it's 1-0.
Cost Cutters cuts the cost of quality hair care. And at Cost Cutters, the only difference in our quality perms and fashion cuts is the price.
North Dakota 1, Minnesota 0. In period 1 of game 2. Tony Herkus has the lone goal in this game, his 42nd of the season. Off the draw, Orth, another shot as he got 2 quick shots off, right off the face-off. Belfour stops everything. Now a rolling puck, it'll come back. Eric Dornfeld pokes it back into the corner as Johnson was giving chase. Held in by Murray Barron, off the stick of Krumpetich. Intercepted, but Pitlick sends it back into the corner. Now Dornfeld looks for help. Feeds Pitlick. Up to Chorsky, stopped by Davidson. Now Blue behind his net. He and Johnson go down. The whistle blows, and an interference penalty. That probably will be on John Blue.
Well, that was the same sort of thing that happened last night with Eddie Belfour when he got in the way. You see Steve Johnson trying to get in to get the puck now, and whether or not Blue does it intentionally, I think he did, folks. The replay doesn't lie. I think he just stuck his arm out there to keep Johnson from getting the puck, because I think John Blue knew he was in trouble back there. Johnson had a head of steam going. The puck was laying there. There's a good chance he could have got it and stuffed it around the other side. So I think John didn't want Steve to do that, so he said, wait a minute.
Well, Blue does get the penalty at 8:36 for interference. And now, I didn't see who is serving the penalty for Blue, but Minnesota will have a man in the box. Looks like Scott Bloom, all right. Sioux on the power play for the first time in the game. Ian Kidd plays catch with Krumpetich. Dishing off to Johnson. North Dakota 0 of 3 on the power play last night. Here's Kidd faking and giving to Joyce. Back to Kidd again. Joyce in the slot. Krumpetich to Herkus. Over for Johnson, and he didn't get enough of it. Joyce regroups. Back to Mickey Krumpetich. 1:30 to go on the power play. Krumpetich to Herkus. Back to Kidd now. As the Sioux set up the chess game here. Krumpetich. Back to Kidd. Fakes the shot over for Herkus, and he missed at it. Tried to one-time it, and it didn't click. Joyce back to Herkus. Out to Kidd at the point. Herkus gets it back again. Over for Krumpetich. As Paul Broughton goes down. Kidd to Herkus. Into Krumpetich in the slot, and the shot is weak, and it's turned aside by Blue. Joyce back in the net. 54 seconds to go on the penalty. Here's Kidd. Dropping it back for Joyce. Out to Herkus. He whips it in. Kidd trying to get it back to Joyce, and it's intercepted by Hankinson, who clears the zone. Herkus skates away from Snuggerud, but it's picked off by Berglund, and it's whistled offside as Snuggerud was in over the line. Still a good defensive play there by the Gophers.
Well, the North Dakota showing a lot of good perimeter work on that power play, but really didn't get a lot accomplished. Minnesota had the good, tight, what they call the box in the penalty kill, when the four guys just form, you know, kind of a square, and they really didn't move. They play a tight, real conservative box. North Dakota can't get it inside to get a good shot off. So basically they went a minute and a half, worked it around, but didn't get a good quality shot off.
A lot of passing, little shooting, and we're down to 30 seconds now on that Sioux power play. The Gophers killing off 79% of their penalties. That is fourth best in the league. Davidson dumps it in for the Sioux. Parks going after it, goes by everybody. Or everyone goes by the puck, I should say. Lemoyne directs it to Benson. Benson with a shot, hits traffic. The rebound, Komarinski stopped at the defense by Skarda. Kober plays it out for Benson, over for Lemoyne. Into Davidson. He's sandwiched. Now Millen trying to play it out of trouble. Komarinski can't get the shot away. Bloom is out of the box, and the Minnesota penalty is over. Comes in front to Espy. Stopped by Parks. Parks at the side, can't get anyone to pass it to. And Bloom takes over for the Gophers. Down the ice it goes. This is icing. 9:07 to go. We'll take a break.
There's equity built into your home. And now you can use that equity with a home equity loan from First National Bank in Grand Forks. Use it to add on to your home, for your child's education, or to buy a new car. It's your choice. And the interest you pay could be 100% tax deductible. A home equity loan, now from First National Bank in Grand Forks. It has bright possibilities.
The Sioux lead in total goals, 6-3. Tony Herkus has the only goal of this game, 4 minutes in. Out at the point, it's Murray Barron for North Dakota. The shot is blocked by David Granis. And here come the Gophers with Steve McSwain around Kidd. McSwain moving in, passing off. Granis with a weak shot, and it bounces wide. Now Komarinski, knocked down by Cates. Jay Cates in the corner, but Parks clears to center ice, and here is Dube trying to split the defenders. Can't do it as he goes down. Dornfeld now shovels it around for Granis. Cates will grab it and play it to McSwain. McSwain from Anchorage, Alaska. Checked hard into the boards by Murray Barron. Oh, Kidd hit his own teammate Komarinski with the pass. Kober gets it back again. Forwards it to Mal Parks. Here come the Sioux, 3-on-2. Parks checked by Dornfeld. Dube goes down as well. And the Gophers bring it to center with David Granis. Tried to pass it over to Cates, and that's blocked. Lemoyne having trouble with it now as Berglund is on top of him. This is Jeff Bowen. Bowen from East Grand Forks flips it in. Batted down at the line as Tim Berglund tried to get it to Broughton, and that's stopped by Lemoyne, who sends it down into the Minnesota zone. 7 minutes, 46 seconds to go in the first period. This is Broughton as the Gophers start back. Paul Broughton of Roseau. Broughton moving in, a shot from a bad angle, and that's behind the net. Schopek from the point sends it wide. Hankinson, number 9, the freshman from Edina, to Broughton. Broughton has Schopek in front, hits the side of the net with it. Berglund now trying to shake off Peronika's check. Berglund centers it. Schopek tried to kick it on his stick. Broughton gets the shot away, and a stick save Belfour. Another shot hits traffic. The rebound goes wide. And the whistle blows. And penalties here on each team, I believe. Oh, Broughton and Benson take swings at each other with their sticks. That could bring extra penalties. We'll see what happens here.
Oh, Paul Broughton and Tom Benson participating in a little miscellaneous activity in front of the net.
Now Bowen and Broughton want to go at it. Bowen is going to get himself a penalty here, I believe, as Bowen came over to jaw at Broughton, and Bowen is getting an extra penalty. Not a very smart play. on the part of Bowen. So now the Sioux have 2 men in the box.
Well, that's the kind of thing you want to stay away from, really. You know, we've talked about it before, where your emotions get carried away out there, and especially when it concerns, you know, another player, you know, on the opposing team. You may have had some bad blood with him. You know, Bowen and Broughton have played against each other since who knows when. Broughton being from Roseau, Jeff Bowen being from East Grand Forks. They may be first competitors, but you know, that really isn't an excuse for that type of a penalty. Your emotions, there are very high emotions out there, but you've got to keep them under control, especially in a playoff situation like we're in tonight.
Well, we'll pick up the penalties here. Broughton, 2 for high sticking. Two for high sticking on Benson.
He got Bowen for a 10-minute misconduct instead of a minor penalty.
Okay, I couldn't hear that, but it's a 10-minute misconduct on Jeff Bowen. Was that all he got, was the 10?
Yep. So the Sioux aren't going to be shorthanded. They're just going to lose the services of Jeff Bowen for 10 minutes. Now, misconduct usually means that he said something to the referee. Usually just jawing back and forth with the players doesn't constitute a misconduct, but I don't know what happened down there.
Well, the officials came in to separate them, and maybe something was said then. We'll never know, but we do know that both teams are now skating 4-on-4 here for the next minute and 47 seconds. Gary Schopek for Minnesota. Schopek brings it into Sioux ice. Kidd takes him out of the play, but the puck is underneath Schopek, and we'll have a face-off here to Belfour's right. Our first intermission guest will be the WCHA Commissioner, Otto Breitenbach. Otto is in town for this WCHA playoff final series. He is normally the Associate Athletic Director at the University of Wisconsin. Bob Joyce's father is down from Winnipeg to see this weekend series, along with Bob's brother. And so far, they've got to like what they've been seeing, as Bob has 2 goals, but Chorsky intercepts. Chorsky, a shot, oh! And Belfour got a piece of that, and it deflected wide. Now Herkus brings it out of there for UND. Here comes Tony Herkus. Herkus with Joyce behind him. Herkus is bothered by Richards on the play, and the play does not develop. Back comes Minnesota. Chorsky muscled off the play by Joyce. Now Barron for UND. Barron all alone as the Sioux are making a change. Weak backhand goes back in the net. Johnson crashing in to keep it in. But it's Chorsky over for Espy. The rink-wide pass to Richards. Down the ice it goes. McSwain and Lemoyne go after it. It rolls right to Davidson. Here's Davidson over on the far side to Lemoyne. We've got 37 seconds to go on those offsetting minors. Davidson brings it across. Davidson cuts to the net. Now back of the net he goes. Out to the point. It's Lemoyne with a shot. Didn't get all of it. Johnson just shoots it wide in front. Lemoyne misses at the puck. Still in the zone, but Snuggerud pokes it out. The whistle blows and a hooking call here.
Oh, what happened there was Michael Lemoyne was at the top. Well, here you see it. Just caught the end of it there where Mike missed the puck as it was coming out. He tried to get it in the skates and he missed it. And the Gopher player was coming through. I don't recall who it was. Tried to get through. Mike kind of held him there and held him there. It's one of those penalties where the referees sometimes let it go and sometimes don't. Interference is usually a pretty judgmental call as far as referees go in hockey, because there's a lot of pinching out and a lot of things go on down there where it could be interference and it may not be. It just depends on the referee.
Lemoyne for hooking at 14:32. So the Gophers skating 4-on-3 here. Here's Todd Richards behind his own net, sending it ahead to Corey Millen. Snuggerud's shot deflected off the glass. And it flips up into the crowd. The initial penalties are over, and now it's a 5-on-4 for Minnesota for the next 1:35.
I think we'll see the conditioning aspects of these two teams really come out tonight. As we mentioned in the pregame, a lot of tired guys after last night. Really a grinding game. So all the conditioning that these two teams have done over the course of the season, this is where it's going to pay off. The second game of a tough series in a playoff situation.
You know, the funny thing about this series, not just this series, but throughout the season, is that we've got the top two power play teams in the league, and we haven't seen many power play goals, so everybody offsetting everybody else's strength. Two solid teams right here, the class of the WCHA. Now the Gophers on the power play for another 1:16. Here is Shopek with a drive. Oh, just wide. The rebound is loose. Now Joyce controls. Runs into Snuggerud. Rolls back the other way. Benson clears, but not out as Shopek will get to it. Drops it off, intended for Millen. Now Benson and McSwain go shoulder to shoulder. Out it comes to Shopek. Into McSwain. Back to Shopek now. This is Millen, the Gopher co-captain. Shopek shoots just wide. Millen plays it. Joyce guarding him. Millen and Benson tie up for it now as McSwain tries to dig it loose. Can't do it, and will face it off with 36 seconds to go on the penalty.
That's an interesting point, Pat, with the power plays not really scoring like crazy this weekend, but the point that brings to mind is that the penalty killing requires as much talent and as much hard work as the power play, and I think both of these teams have some individuals that take a lot of pride in their penalty killing, and they're just offsetting each other's power plays.
They have another jam up in the corner, but it comes loose. Hankinson with it for the Gophers. Kidd watching him. Now it's Paul Broughton, number 7. Broughton setting up the power play. Hankinson feeds it out to the point to Skarda. Skarda's shot deflected, rolls right to Ed Belfour. Flutters, I should say, and he makes the save with 14 seconds remaining on the man advantage.
Boy, I would think goaltenders would be great outfielders in the summertime for their softball or baseball teams.
Or first baseman. Or catchers. Some of these goalies are so small they might be good shortstops. Here's Hankinson in the slot. The shot is blocked. Bloom sends it wide. 5 seconds to go on the penalty. The Sioux clear it down the ice, and that'll do it. Lemoyne is out of the box. 1-0, the Sioux lead it. Here's Koborinsky stealing away. Tried to get it in front, and Broughton gets in the way. Broughton shoots it back in the corner. Skarda whips it around. Granis will catch up with it. Granis plays it to Hankinson. Now Broughton wheeling at center. He's tied up, carrying on Granis. Stopped at the line by Benson. Sent back in by David Espy. Here come the Sioux, but it's too far. Gophers send it out. Jay Cates gives it up right to Benson. Stopped at the Gopher line, and now McSwain sends it to Pitlick. It's stopped there by Davidson. Lee Davidson, the freshman from Winnipeg, Manitoba, starting the Sioux rush here. Davidson with Dornfeld on him. Out to the point it comes. Benson misfires. Now he sends it back to Krumpetich. Mickey out to Russ Parent. Another race for it now, and Dornfeld plays it along the boards. McSwain sends it out. This is Benson. Over for Parent. Back to Benson now. 2:11 to go. 1-0, North Dakota. Pass gets by Krumpetich. Mickey in a race for it now. Takes a check from Pitlick. Davidson crashes into the boards. So does Johnson. And the whistle blows. There's a stop in play. We'll take a break.
Acme Electric, tool crib of the North.
Detail work is a breeze with the Delta Scroll Saw, priced now at only $699. If portability is what you need, the Delta Sawbuck is the answer. Now only $529 at Acme Electric. Grand Forks, Fargo, Bismarck, and Minot.
Acme Electric, tool crib of the North.
A penalty on that last whistle. Jay Cates of Minnesota, 2 minutes for elbowing at 18:03.
Let's see if we can pick it up here. There's Cates there. There isn't any question, in my mind anyway, and evidently in referee Mito Martinello's mind either. Cates had the elbows up in the face.
So the Sioux on the power play here for the remainder of period 1. They lead 1-0. But here is Berglund with the puck for Minnesota. Loses it, however, and now this is Johnson. Sending it up, gets by everybody, and icing is called on the Sioux. Something you don't want to see on a power play, but they'll bring it back with 1:45 to go.
Well, that's another thing we talked about last night is those long passes. They don't have as much of a chance, obviously, as short passes do, to get to where they're supposed to be going. Especially on the power play, you shouldn't be taking the chance of making a 60-foot pass when you have 5 guys and they've got 4.
Here's Krumpetich ahead to Herkus. Stopped there by Todd Richards. And the Sioux have to go back for it. Not a great start to the power play. The Sioux will try to bring it out again. Krumpetich over for Ian Kidd. Drops it back blindly. Berglund, a shot just wide. Joyce has it now for North Dakota. Fans getting on the Sioux here. The Sioux captain Bob Joyce bringing it into Gopher ice. Joyce on his backhand now waits for help. Checked into the boards and cleared down the ice. 55 seconds to go in the period, 57 seconds to go in the penalty. As Mickey Krumpetich starts back for UND. Whistles it around the boards, big race for it now. Koberinski pinching in, Kober grabs the puck. Kober looking for somebody. Has Herkus to his left, gives instead to Johnson on his right. Johnson has it picked off by Broughton, but Krumpetich is there to break it up. Now Johnson goes down. Here's Kidd for North Dakota, trying to get around Shopek to no avail. Fans screaming for a penalty, they won't get it. Park stops it at the line. 16 seconds to go, loose puck in front, cleared but not out. This is Benson. Over for Kidd, loses the puck, 10 seconds. Shopek for Minnesota, a long shot. Stopped there by Belfour. 2 seconds, 1, and that's the end of the first period. Our score after 1 period is North Dakota 1, Minnesota 0. Total goals, North Dakota 6, Minnesota 3. And as we start the second period, Jay Cates will have 3 seconds remaining on his penalty. Well, we were in this spot last night, weren't we? A 1-0 game after 1 period, Dean Barsness.
I think this puts a lot of pressure on Minnesota right now, Pat. They're down 3 goals going into the second, 3 goals in the total goal series going into the second period, and you know, they got to be awful careful now not to give up another goal at this point, because that could be the turning point in this series is the next goal. Minnesota scores the next goal, it's a 2-goal hockey game. North Dakota scores the next goal, it's a 4-goal series. So it's that next goal is a big goal. They got to come out flying. Minnesota does in the second period. North Dakota, on the other hand, hey, they score the next goal or 2, they got to think that Minnesota's going to pack their bags and go home. So I really look at the next goal as being a big one in this series.
Let me bring up another Ginoism. He likes to talk about that driver's seat, and that's just where UND is right now.
Yeah, they are. And, you know, that's where you get to that point. You want to be at that point during the season. They got themselves in the driver's seat. Middle of January, they got themselves 4 or 5 points ahead of the pack. They're in the driver's seat. They cruised on home. Now they're in the playoffs. They're in the WCHA finals right now. They got 2 periods to go. They have a 3-goal lead. They are in the driver's seat, but they've got to keep that intensity up to, you know, what got them here. They've got to continue that.
Got to stay in the driver's seat and keep that foot on the accelerator, so to speak. 1-0, the Sioux lead the Gophers after 1 period. We'll be back with WCHA Commissioner Otto Breitenbach right after these messages.
headed?
GF Good Ribs, Grand Forks.
That's a 300-mile trek across wilderness full of bear and wolverine. You must be hungry.
Yeah, I'm hungry, but it's not just that. I want atmosphere and fine dining. Prime rib and lobster, steak and crab, and some of them shrimp supposed to melt in your mouth.
I thought they just had ribs.
They got ribs, racks of them, big as a house and delicious, too. But more than anything, they've got fine dining.
Express Photo in Devil's Lake knows that the world's most cherished pictures are the ones you take. So they take pride in giving you quality prints with the use of the revolutionary new KISS photo processor. The miracle KISS photo processor takes your 110, 126, 135, and disc film and delivers extraordinary prints. Extra prints and enlargements take only minutes with the KISS photo processing system, so you can share the moment with friends and relatives. Express Photo uses Kodak paper exclusively for the very best quality. Visit Express Photo Devil's Lake today.
Hi, I'm Doug Norby of Norby's Office Services. We're proud to be an authorized dealer of IBM typewriters and supplies. We also do a lot of office planning and remodeling, but it's important that you know we offer free delivery on everyday office supplies. We want you to keep us in mind, whether you need a new typewriter, office furniture, or a box of paper clips. We're always here ready to help at Norby's Office Services, 18 South 4th, downtown Grand Forks.
After one period of play, our score, North Dakota 1 and Minnesota 0. And right now it's our pleasure to have the commissioner of the WCHA with us, Mr. Otto Breitenbach. Otto, welcome to Grand Forks, first of all.
Thanks very much, Pat. It's a pleasure to be here and to see a great hockey game like this.
Otto, you gave a little speech yesterday, kind of a State of the League address at the Sioux Booster Luncheon. A lot of the folks didn't get to that, and I'm going to ask you about some of the topics you touched on there because they are important to college hockey today. First of all, some possible NCAA legislation regarding cutbacks in hockey. A lot of folks have heard about it, I'm sure, but they don't understand it. What is the status of that issue?
Well, actually, we're worried about two major issues, and that is the cutback in the number of games and the cutback in the number of scholarships. Those could have a drastic effect upon the game as we know it today. Those particular issues have been lobbied by us. That is, we have presented a position paper that has been endorsed by the rest of Division I hockey, and we are combating, obviously, any cuts, because we took those cuts 2 years ago. We put them into what we think are reasonable situations, and now we're lobbying the President's Commission to try to keep it out of the summer convention. If it gets onto the agenda of the summer convention, then we have to fight votes from non-hockey playing schools, and that could be tough as far as preventing any passage is concerned. So our problem now is to keep it off that agenda, and the presidents are going to act on it during the month of April and come up with the agenda on the 29th of April, and that's our deadline.
I imagine you look at it from the standpoint of not only cutting back on, it would be a detriment to the hockey game as we know it today, but you mentioned financially.
That's right.
Hockey means a lot to several schools in the WCHA in terms of dollars, and that would also be hurt.
Very much so. We know that hockey is an income-producing sport, and by that I mean that it helps not only to pay its own way, but also to pay the way of many other sports in the program. And whether it be the larger schools like Wisconsin or Minnesota, or Duluth and North Dakota, Denver, and so forth, it's an integral part of the total operating budget that finances men's and women's sports. And that's part of our job, too, to convince the President's Commission that it is indeed an income-producing sport and should be treated like basketball and football.
How did this all come about anyway? What started all this?
Well, what started it is some presidents felt that by exercising cost-containing measures, and that's what they term those, which I would quarrel with, but by exercising cost containment measures, they're going to do away with some of the evils in athletics. My suggestion is that they're going about it in the wrong way. If they insist upon high academic standards, that's going to do away with some of our problems in athletics, not cutting back on schedules or cutting back on scholarships where the kid is deprived of the opportunity to compete. I think that's a mistake.
All right, but it's obvious from listening to you that the WCHA is against this, and we can only wait and see what happens there.
Exactly.
What about another issue that comes up at playoff time as to who gets seeded into the NCAA tournament. Usually the winner of this WCHA playoff championship is afforded home ice in the first round, and the loser usually goes on to the final 8 as well. But what exactly, and I don't even know if you can tell me what exactly, but what goes into determining who goes where?
The one thing that I can tell you exactly is that the ice hockey committee that governs the Division I ice hockey has the final say. But we do know this, that the winner of this tournament, whether it be North Dakota or Minnesota, is the automatic qualifier. And then the other team must be selected by the committee. I interpreted it yesterday as saying that the automatic qualifier would also get home ice. That makes sense to me. But as I digested the book today, I realized that even then, the ice hockey committee could take home ice away from the automatic qualifier and give it for other qualifying reasons, such as the season championship, intensity of schedule, and so on and so forth. So let's just presume that maybe if Minnesota did win tonight and became the automatic qualifier of the WCHA, they could award home ice to North Dakota based on the season championship and the fact they've been rated #1 for a long time.
Do you see any change in this process taking place, taking it out of the hands of a committee and putting some set criteria down?
I don't mind the hands of the committee, but I want the criteria changed. Another thing that we're lobbying very hard for, I believe that the committee's hands are too closely tied right now. It has to be 1-2 from ECAC. It has to be 1-2 from Hockey East and so forth. And I believe that the best teams should go. Therefore, we're lobbying for an expansion of the tournament to either 12 or 16 teams, where a good third-place team, such as Bowling Green a couple years ago, if you'll remember, or even in our own instance, let's say Wisconsin had beaten Minnesota last week and come here. Under the present setup, Minnesota would have been out of the tournament, and that would not have been fair, and yet Wisconsin would deserve to go as we have success in the tournament structure itself. The whole tournament structure needs review, it needs expansion, and the commissioners are meeting with the representatives of the executive committee of the NCAA in Detroit during the course of the tournament to try to change that again.
All right, let's get back to the WCHA. You mentioned attendance. The situation there is really looking up.
Yeah, the attendance has been just outstanding. As I mentioned, we approached 850,000 people for our season this year. We're not going to sit pat. We're going to try to hit 1 million next year. But that is certainly solid evidence of the interest in Division I hockey. And I think it's a great tribute to the fans and also a great tribute to the coaches and players that are putting on such excellent competition.
Otto, were there any other changes on the horizon for the league?
No, I don't see any drastic changes. There's always talk of expansion, addition of teams, and so on and so forth. We have a standing committee that looks at that particular action if necessary. I don't see any change at the moment. We will be another year with Hockey East in our interlocking schedule, and then we'll sit down and review that again to see if we should perpetuate that any further. So I don't look for drastic changes, but our annual meeting in April, all of these items get out on the table, and we thrash them out, and normally, or most usually, come out with a unanimous opinion.
Okay, we'll look forward to that next month. Otto Breitenbach, the WCHA commissioner, has been our guest. Otto, thanks for being with us.
Thank you, and it's a pleasure to be here.
All right. And our intermission will continue after this.
Protection, service, strength. They're what you expect from your insurance. We believe it. And as independent agents, we won't settle for less when we provide your insurance. That's why we represent Kemper for quality, protection, and value. Insurance you can count on with our local service behind it. Let us put the strength of the cavalry to work for you.
For Kemper coverage, see Jim Axman and Don Burnson of Thompson Insurance, Grand Forks.
At Northern Liquidators, our dollar-stretching values save you more. This week, you'll find a limited selection of beautiful Bennington Winthrop desks with hutch tops. These classics are constructed of solid pine and feature leaded glass doors, automatic glides for desktop support, and functional interior lighting. These desks would normally retail for $1,200, but you can pick them up now for as little as $3.99. So stop by Northern Liquidators today and take advantage of these dollar-stretching values.
Too much trouble to wash the grime and salt off your car in the winter? Not with the convenience of Valley Car Wash. A full-service wash includes vacuuming, cleaning inside windows, dashboard, door panels and jambs, white walls, wheel covers, and towel dry. Or choose from 3 other treatments with the following options: sealer wax, polish wax, underbody bath, rust inhibitors, and air freshener. Let the experts at Valley Car Wash pamper your car with the full-service wash, the special wash, the super wash, or the works.
Hello? Hello?
Do you ever get the feeling in some stores that you're all alone when you want service?
Morning. Morning.
At Silverman's, we give service, as much or as little as you want. We've been giving service since my grandfather started Silverman's, and you'll find that tradition at all 3 Silverman's stores today. So when you're shopping for clothes for your family, remember just one thing: Silverman's gives service. You'll never have to feel alone again.
It's 1-0. The University of North Dakota leading the University of Minnesota after 1 period of Game 2 of this 2-game total goal series. The only goal coming at the 4-minute mark. Tony Herkus, his 42nd of the year from Bobick and Kidd.
Well, the puck is going to roll out to Ian Kidd, and he's going to catch it and knock it down. Right there, see, puts it back into Bobick. He deflects it. The puck is going to roll out to Tony Herkus. Watch him just spin and shoot. He knows where the puck or where the net is. Spin, shoot, and boom. Upper corner, right over John Blue's shoulder. Here from a different angle. See Bobick just directed? Nice play by Brent Bobick. Tony Herkus just spins and shoots it. You know, you don't have to look at where the net is. He knows where the net is. He knows Blue's probably down. He's just going to shoot and try to get it up high, which is exactly what he did. Real nice play down there by Brent Bobick. Like we stated earlier, everything doesn't happen with your stick. You have to have the footwork. He knew that he couldn't be able to get a stick on it. He just kind of reverted his skate, tipped it over to Herkus. Herkus made no mistake in putting it up top in the upper net.
Boy, I don't think we had enough angles on that goal. We need a camera on the ceiling. We'll be back with the second period right after this.
Grand Forks is people having good times, people sharing fun. Grand Forks is people meeting, people playing, people getting great things done.
I can get things here I can't get at home.
You can't beat it.
We've got great things going in Grand Forks. Grand Forks is doing, moving, growing all for you. We've got great things going in Grand Forks.
The label is the same, but the contents is Glidden's new improved spread satin, a new paint that gives you everything you expect in a quality paint, plus unequaled scrubbability. It's new improved Glidden spread satin, the paint that in recent scrub resistance tests on the 10 best-selling interior paints outscrubbed them all. Regularly $11.99. It's yours now in ready mixed or tinted colors at only $9.99 a gallon at the home of economy, Grand Forks, Grafton, and Devils Lake.
Ted Elber, submarine sandwich. Get one before it gets you.
We're about set for the second period here in Grand Forks, North Dakota at the UND Winter Sports Center. Ed Belfour with 11 saves in that opening period as opposed to just 3 for John Blue. So the Gophers putting the heat on the statistics sheet anyway. Total shots, Minnesota took 23. North Dakota with 19 total shots. Tony Herkus with the only goal in the game. Minnesota will start this period shorthanded for 3 seconds as Jay Cates has to serve the remainder of his elbowing call. There is Herkus, who now has 101 points so far this season. That is a UND record. Friday the 13th was certainly lucky for him. All-conference first team and league MVP.
You know, you mentioned the saves, Pat. Belfour with 11 and Blue with 3. Most of the shots, however, most of Minnesota shots were from kind of in the face-off circle area. There weren't a lot of shots. In fact, there were only 2 shots from the slot area, which is the area directly in front of the net. So although they had quite a bit of shots, maybe not the real quality shots were there.
And as we look at that shot chart, the Sioux really didn't have many shots in the slot either. So teams clearing out that lane. Second period is underway, and Minnesota moving from left to right here. The Gophers back at full strength as Richards sends it out to center ice, tried to spring it to McSwain. That play broken up. Herkus shoots it back in for North Dakota. Gary Schopek, number 25, trying to skate away from Herkus. It comes to David Grannis, number 12. Now McSwain. Steve McSwain in on goal. A shot saved by Belfour there. Kidd having a little trouble. Grannis sends it in front, and that's stopped in front by Barrett. Now Schopek with a shot, and that's wide. Keeping it in is Richards. His shot way off the mark. Cates after it. Cates looks a little slow. He might have been hurt in a collision there at the side of the net. Puck rolls back of the net to McSwain. Now Cates has the puck. He gave Kidd a shot earlier just moments ago, and Kidd went down, so Cates and Kidd have something brewing here. Puck is lying on top of the boards, and a whistle.
That was really hard to believe, and I see Ian Kidd saying something to referee Mito Martinello, too. Jay Cates tripped Ian Kidd right in front of Mito, and he didn't call it. I don't know what he thought, if it was a dive or what he thought, but he didn't call it. It sure looked obvious from up here.
Well, we've got 18:41 to go in period number 2. 1-0, North Dakota leading in the game, and the Sioux leading in total goals 6-3. Here's Lee Davidson sending it right through Johnson, and now the Gophers regain control with Corey Millen flipping it in. Comes off the boards to Belfour. Lemoyne checked off the play. Snuggerud with the puck for Minnesota. Snuggerud with a weak shot, and that's stopped in front by Russ Parent. Parent clears to center. Johnson can't get the pass away. Davidson carries it in, though, and he loses control to Dave Snuggerud. Sent back in by the Sioux. Chasing after it is Skarda and Krumpetich. They both miss at the puck. Davidson for UND. Out to Lemoyne. A shot and a stick save by Blue. The rebound to Krumpetich. Tried to feed it to Davidson in the slot, and that didn't click. Here come the Gophers. 4-on-2. Millen dropping it back to Snuggerud. And the puck dribbles to the near side. Millen to Chorsky now. Can't get a shot away. Millen takes over. Out to David Espy. In the slot area, it hits traffic, and back comes UND with Davidson. Tried to spring it to Krumpetich, and it's whistled for icing. There's David Espy, the sophomore defenseman, although he can play forward or defense. The Gophers skating without Todd Okerlund, the right winger who is out for the year with a knee injury, and Marty Nanny, who injured his ribs in practice this week. Skarda taking Nanny's spot on the right wing on that fourth line. Skarda normally a defenseman.
Losing a player of Okerlund's caliber, they lost him real early in the season, and I know Coach Doug Woog was very concerned when they did lose him because he's a leader, and it has hurt them a bit, but you know, they've got the depth where they can make up for somewhat for a loss of Okerlund's caliber.
We talked about that with Tim Berglund, and we'll have Tim Berglund in our second intermission. Here's Doob for North Dakota. A shot in blue. Stops it right there. Doob goes hard into the boards on a check, and Doob is down, and he is hurt. A penalty coming up here on the Gophers. And now Sioux trainer Boyd Murray coming out to attend to Doob, who was checked hard into the boards behind the Minnesota goal.
Well, let's see the replay here. Here's Scott Dube keeping his feet moving, and he gets a lot of momentum going here towards the net. He gets by Pitlick here. Kind of leaning towards the net. Now he's going to lose. And he gets hit there, and he goes just crashing into the net and hit his shoulder first, and I got to believe that it's going to be a shoulder injury. Let's see another angle at it here. Gets the shot off. There he gets hit right there, and he loses his balance. Oh, right into his right shoulder. And he went shoulder first into the boards, and that, my friends, hurts.
That Gopher player, number 21, Eric Dornfeld. They have posted 2 minutes on the Minnesota side of the scoreboard. Dornfeld now skates into the penalty box as they continue to attend to Scott Dube. Ironically, Eric Dornfeld came to North Dakota State on a football scholarship, and he left after 1 quarter to play hockey with the Gophers.
Well, here you see Dornfeld come over. Gives him a hit. And then he just crashes into the boards on his right shoulder. And by looking at that replay, I would have to imagine that it would be a shoulder injury.
Dornfeld, 2 minutes for boarding at 2:49, and we'll be back after this.
Modern Chrysler Center is going to break all sales records. Receive 3.7% financing and/or rebates up to $1,500 on most new units. We will not be undersold. Save up to $1,000 more on demos. All used vehicles have been drastically reduced with sale prices clearly marked in the windshield. Plus, many qualify for 5.9% factory financing for 48 months. Get a free Everglow kerosene heater. So hurry out to our record-breaking sale at Modern Chrysler, AMC, Jeep, Renault, Grand Forks.
Scott Dube goes down to the runway leading to the locker room, and now Scott Dube is on his way to the trainer's room in all likelihood. And they'll attend to Scott Dube underneath. In the meantime, Sioux on a power play here for 2 minutes. Ian Kidd try to get it to Joyce in front, and that's blocked. Now the puck comes to Johnson. Trying to get it in front, and that's deflected out to the point. It gets by Kidd's stick, and North Dakota will regroup. Joyce to Herkus, taps it in. Herkus and Chopek going after it. Johnson digs it loose. Steve Johnson, stick handling. Now Herkus is behind him. Herkus over here for Krumpetich. Back at the point to Ian Kidd. This is Krumpetich. Had a goal last night. Krumpetich is shot, and it's high. Rolls on top of the boards. Herkus knocks it down and takes a hit from Berglund, who clears it out to the neutral zone. Back come the Sioux with Herkus. Tony Herkus passing off for Joyce. 1:08 to go on the penalty. Herkus in the corner, blocked by Chopek as Joyce was breaking toward the goal. Joyce out to Kidd now. Over for Krumpetich. Back to Kidd. Over to Joyce. Joyce fakes, gives to Kidd. Kidd with a shot, and it's stopped in front. Here come the Gophers with Snuggerud. Snuggerud with a wrist shot blocked by Kidd. And now 43 seconds remaining on the Sioux power play. Again, the Sioux with a lot of passing, but not a lot of shooting. Gophers doing a good job killing it off. And it's stolen again by Todd Richards, who lost it down into the UND end. 28 seconds to go on that man advantage. Russ Parent dishing to Herkus. Here's Herkus breaking free. Herkus over to Johnson, who scores. Steve Johnson makes it 2-0 on the power play.
Well, that was the big goal that we were talking about early, and the Sioux have done it. They take a 4-goal lead in this 2-game total goal series. Herkus makes a nice move here at the blue line, creates a 2-on-1, pass it over to Johnson. Johnson makes no mistake, puts it upstairs over the sprawling John Blue. Here it is again. Herkus over to Johnson. John Blue makes a nice attempt to get over and block that, but Johnson made no mistake. He knew he had to put it up. He knew Blue was coming across the net, put it upstairs. Pretty goal, and a big goal.
Steve Johnson, his 23rd goal of the season from Herkus and Parent. And that gives Tony Herkus 60 assists this season. He has now broken the record of 59 set by Mark Taylor in 79 and 80. Herkus now with a goal and 1 assist in this game, 102 points for the season. 2-0 the Sioux lead. And in total goals, it's 7-3 in favor of North Dakota as the hole gets deeper for the Minnesota Gophers. Russ Perrin trying to keep it in. Bouncing puck. Played out to center. Here is Scott Bloom with a shot blocked by the skate of Benson. SB trying to keep it in. He does and goes down in a collision with Koborinsky. Benson checking in there with Orth. 4-player tie-up, but the puck squirts loose to Mal Parks, and here come the Sioux 3-on-3. Mal Parks with Koborinsky behind him. This is Kober. Losing it in the corner. The whistle blows, and a high sticking call here, and now SB sends Parks to the ice. We'll take a 10-second break here. This is Sioux hockey.
Updated and unimitated, the Elks.
Oh, Randy Scarda, the penalized player for Minnesota.
Well, these are the type of penalties that's going to add salt to the wound. You know, at this point in the game, the Gophers can ill afford to be sitting with a man in the box when they're playing catch-up hockey.
High sticking call at 5:10. And the Sioux go on the power play once again. They finally got their first power play goal of the weekend. Moments ago at 4:29, Steve Johnson with goal number 23. They've got Johnson out there now with Joyce and Herkus up front, Krumpetich and Kidd at the points. For Johnson, that was his 11th power play goal of the season. Comes back to Kidd. Plays it over for Joyce. Now it comes back to Herkus behind the net where he is oh so dangerous. Herkus goes down. Shopek whips it. Held in by Kidd. To Joyce now. Backhands it to Herkus. Richards gets a stick on it. Now it's Joyce. Out to Ian Kidd. Over here for Krumpetich. Deflected by Berglund. It drops into the corner. Berglund gets control of it. Gets it around Krumpetich. Down the ice it goes. Scott Doob has come out of the Sioux locker room, and he's taking a seat on the bench, so Doob apparently okay. 1:17 to go on the North Dakota power play. Sioux lead in this game 2-0. Shopek golfs it out. As the crowd pretty quiet at the moment at the UND Winter Sports Center, the students on a spring break. Herkus gets by Cates. Here is Herkus, runs into his own man Johnson, and whistle is offside.
I think the difference between the crowds, Pat, when you mentioned that, when the students are here, there's a lot of noise all the time. But when they're not here, there's a lot of noise when there's something exciting going on the ice. But when there's not, people are just kind of sitting back and enjoying themselves. And I think that's the main difference. When there's a whole, and this whole side of the Winter Sports Center is filled with students, they are noisy a lot. Sometimes it doesn't even matter what's going on the ice.
Here's Cates for Minnesota, wrapped up by Mal Parks. Puck goes all the way to the other side. Now it comes back to the net where Cates picks it up. It's the back of the net. Loose puck gathered in by Lee Davidson. 36 seconds to go on the Sioux power play as Parks is run into the boards by Pitlick. Davidson carries on, however. Davidson trying to shrug off Pitlick. Puck squirts loose to Krumpetich. Now it's Koborinsky. Kober with a shot blocked by Cates. Now Benson. His shot also blocked by the Gopher player, McSwain. 16 seconds to go on the power play as the Sioux cough it up. Benson directs it in. Davidson racing in after it. Here's Parks with the puck out to Krumpetich's shot. Flutters right to blue, the rebound, and he scoops it up.
Well, let's pick it up Parks comes behind the net here, makes a nice feed out to Mickey Krumpetich. Puck is kind of bouncing. See, Mickey doesn't quite get it at all. He knew where he wanted to go with it. John Blue catches it on his shoulder, then quickly scoops up the rebound. Says, sorry guys, not this time.
2 seconds to go on that penalty to Minnesota's Randy Skarda. And in case you missed it earlier today in high school hockey, Warroad lost the third-place game in the Minnesota high school tournament. Greenway Coleraine beat Warroad 4-3. But I'll tell you something, the Warriors made a game of it. They were down 3-0, came back to tie the game at 3, only to lose it by 1 goal. But still a tremendous season for the Warroad Warriors. And a penalty here on North Dakota. As soon as the Minnesota penalty expires, the Sioux send a man to the box. There's a stop in play. We'll take a break.
When I was a football coach, sure I was tough on my players, and they loved me for it. Shucks, that's why they invited me here tonight, to share some Miller Lights and to show their appreciation. You know, light tastes great and it's less filling. So here's to the greatest emotion in the world, the friendship between a coach and his players. No thanks, boys, I gave up cigars.
For a great get-together, there's only one light beer. Miller Lite.
I just love these reunions, don't you, boys? Ooh, they love me.
Grant Paranika gets 2 for hooking at 7:16, and now the Gophers will try their hand at the power play. Kind of a back-and-forth game here in this second period. Todd Richards drops it off, but Herkus gets in the way. Shopek reels it in for the Gophers. Now it's Corey Millen breaking in for Minnesota. Millen to Chorsky, a screen shot, and that's wide. Kidd clears it, but not out as Shopek tees it up for Millen. Hard off his stick, and here comes Tony Herkus. Gets by one man, and here is Joyce picking up the puck. One-on-one with Richards. Good play there by Richards to knock it off Joyce's stick. Now Chorsky tying up Joyce. He's sandwiched, and a face-off coming up here. Just what the Sioux penalty killers wanted.
Well, there you have a look at Mr. Goal Scorer, Bobby Joyce. People looking forward to seeing him score his 50th, and he's got 48 right now, I believe. And it's been a while since we've seen anyone score 50 goals in a green and white uniform.
Well, no one has ever done it.
No one's ever scored 50.
Ever done it. Bob Joyce holds the record. That's why you've never seen anybody.
I guess.
But it could happen this year if Joyce stays on pace. But here is Hankinson for the Gophers. Wrapped up there by Benson. Puck is played out to Shopek. 58 seconds to go on the Minnesota power play as Richards sends it around back of the net. McSwain has it stolen away, and Herkus clears it. Scott Dube back out for North Dakota now. He's bothering Shopek, who dishes back to to Todd Richards. Here's Bloom, the freshman from Burnsville, over for Hankinson. Hankinson back to Bloom. Bad angle, and it's broken up there by Benson. 30 seconds to go on the penalty. Scott Bloom in the circle. Dropping it back. This is Shopek. Shopek along the boards to Richards, who takes a shot from Lemoyne. Out to the point it comes to Shopek again. Over for Richards. Lofts it toward the goal, off the glove of Belfour. He didn't see it, and it goes behind the net. The whistle blows as a Sioux player, Benson, falls on it. I should point out in the Minnesota championship game tonight, it'll be Burnsville against Bloomington Kennedy. Burnsville has won the last 2 Minnesota titles, and Scott Bloom of the Gophers, I'm sure, rooting for Burnsville tonight, his old alma mater. Scott Dube back on the ice, which is good news for Sioux fans.
I wouldn't have bet that he would have been back on the ice. The way he went into the boards and the amount of pain that he was in initially, I wouldn't have bet that he was back, but he's a strong kid, and he's back at her. It takes a lot more than that to keep Scotty Dube down, evidently.
Yes, indeed. Paranik is out of the box. The Sioux at full strength now with 10:40 to go. Second period, 2-0. North Dakota leads it, and here's a possible break, but Dube overskates it. Back come the Gophers with Millen. Try to get it to Chorsky, and it's broken up. Chorsky gets it back again. A shot at the side of the net. It's stopped. Now Koborinsky for the Sioux. To Dube. Intended for Paranika. Everybody goes by it now, and Skarda plays it out to center. Tom Chorsky, number 17. Intended for Snuggerud and broken up by UND. Randy Skarda, the freshman from West St. Paul, Minnesota. Now it's cleared up to Millen. Millen with a shot, and that's wide. Rolls on top of the boards, comes back in. Now the Sioux come back out with it. Scott Dube 2-on-2 with Mel Parks. Here's Dube. They're not saying boo, they're saying Dube. But he passes to nobody, and Millen is there as the Sioux were in the middle of a line change. Parent tossing it in for the Sioux. Lance Pitlick, number 6, whipping it around for Peter Hankinson, another freshman. Davidson back to Lemoyne. Over now for Parent. Intended for Krumpetich. Hankinson gets a stick on it now, a race for it. Dornfeld for Minnesota as the Gophers start back. Picked off by Parent. We've got some muscling way behind the play with Pitlick and Krumpetich back in the Gopher zone. Play is whistled offside. We'll take a 10-second break. This is Sioux hockey.
Listen to the heartbeat of America.
Larson Chevrolet, looking to the future.
Today, Chevrolet.
9:08 to go in the second period. Our second intermission guest will be Minnesota left wing Tim Berglund of Thief River Falls. Couple of 14s on the face-off here. Jay Cates for the Gophers, Lee Davidson for the Sioux. Comes back to Russ Parent, the freshman from Winnipeg, up to another Winnipeg freshman, Davidson. Now Johnson with the puck. Tried to slap it in. It's underneath Steve McSwain, and a face-off coming up. Steve McSwain, I had a chance to meet his father, Steve McSwain Sr., last night, and Steve Sr. flew in from Anchorage, Alaska. He is a dedicated fan.
I guess. That's a long flight.
He brought some smoked salmon with him, too, which was a big hit in the bull session at one of the local hotels last night. Whistle blows. And what do we have here? Penalties? Davidson going in for North Dakota and Cates for Minnesota.
Oh, while we were talking salmon, evidently Mito Martinello had something else on his mind, and I think that was behind the play. I was watching the play, and there was nothing that happened in the play, so it must have been maybe a little miscellaneous action going on behind the play between those two gentlemen.
Well, both players get 2 minutes for cross-checking. Davidson and Cates, the time of the penalties, 11-11. So it's 4-on-4 here. As the Gophers send it out to center ice, this is Paul Broughton of Roseau, number 7. Loses control of it. Herkus on his knees. Here come the Sioux. Herkus to Kidd. 2-on-1. Kidd fakes. Rounds the net now. In front, Herkus can't get the backhand away as Chopek goes down. Oh, the Sioux had two Gopher defenders running into each other. Nothing comes of it. Now Richards losing it to Herkus, who springs it ahead to Ian Kidd. Stolen away, Snuggerud, shot and a goal! Dave Snuggerud makes it 2-1.
Well, Dave Snuggerud here just makes a quick little thing with his stick. Watch this. Puts it on Ian's stick. Up. Takes it away. Nice steal. Comes in all alone on Eddie Belfour. Makes one quick little move. Puts it in between Eddie's legs, and Eddie just catches a pad on it, but it ends up in the net. Here it is again. Makes a quick little move to his left. Puts it underneath Belfour.
Dave Snuggerud with his 26th goal of the season and his second in as many nights, unassisted at 11:57. The score in the game, North Dakota 2, Minnesota 1. And in total goals, it's North Dakota 7, Minnesota 4. That goal coming with each team a man short. the Gophers start up ice again. Millen with it, gets by Benson. A penalty coming up on the Sioux as Blue skates to the bench. Loose puck in front, touched by a Sioux player, Dube, and a slashing call coming up on North Dakota. Looks like Benson.
Well, that's the situation that Minnesota was in the last period. You know, when things start going the other way, maybe, especially after a goal. It's a bad time to take a penalty because, you know, you've got the other. Minnesota seems to, you know, after a goal, they've got the momentum going and whatnot by taking a penalty again, adding salt to the wound. And if there's a real bad time to take a penalty, after a goal is one of those times.
Well, we saw last night's game was one of many momentum shifts. We'll see how it goes here now as the Gophers have a 4-on-3 advantage for 58 seconds. 58 seconds remaining on the penalties to Davidson and Cates.
Interesting now on a 4-on-3. It's very important on the puck control now. You'll notice now when one team has the puck, they'll have it probably for a while, especially Minnesota being the 4-on-3, because there's a lot of ice to work with and not a lot of players.
Here is Richards passing off for Corey Millen. Millen with a shot. The save, Belfour, as Broughton came in for a possible rebound.
And Eddie Belfour knows it too. He knows that he's got to jump on those rebounds. Watch, here's a shot from the point by Corey Millen. Eddie doesn't let any rebound out because there's that Gopher player right there, right on the doorstep, waiting for the rebound. So he knows that any rebound that's kicked out, it's going to be dangerous.
43 seconds to go on the penalties to Davidson and Cates. 1:44 remaining on Benson's penalty as the Sioux send it down. 2-1, North Dakota in the lead in period 2. As Dave Snuggerud wheels at center for the Gophers. He's got the only Minnesota goal tonight. Puck squirts loose as Herkus clears the zone. Blue sends it out right to Kidd. 1-on-1 with Richards back. Kidd with a shot, turned aside by Blue with the blocker. And now Herkus and Millen chase after it. Poked away by Ian Kidd. 5 seconds to go on the initial penalties. Here's Millen for the Gophers, the senior from Cloquet, Minnesota, as Minnesota now with a 5-on-4. Out to Richards. Tried to get it up to the side of the net to Broughton, and the shot misfired. And it's cleared down the ice with 48 seconds remaining on Benson's penalty. Now Millen sends it to Todd Richards. He flips it high into the North Dakota end. McSwain pokes it back of the net. Big Murray Barra, number 3. Shoves it to the near side. Joyce clears it down the ice, and that'll kill off yet more time as the clock now reads 23 seconds remaining on the penalty to Benson. Loose puck, stopped by Lemoyne and cleared yet again. The Gophers will have only one more chance to bring it up ice with 9 seconds to go on that penalty. Intercepted by Joyce. Knocked back to the Gopher zone. And Benson is out of the box. Here's Berglund for Minnesota losing the puck. Kobarinski starts back. Now Benson picks it up. 2-on-1 with Joyce. Benson tried to get it to Joyce, and it's blocked at the defense by Skarda. Oh, it came out behind Barron, and he has to go back for it. 5:26 to go. Period number 2. Here is Kobarinski for UND. Dumping it into the Gopher end. Blue turns it around for Granis. Lets it go. Granis picks it up again. And tries to start the Gophers up. It's off the stick of Hankinson. Gets by everybody now. Hankinson throws it in. Delayed offside coming up here, and the whistle blows. 5:02 to go. We'll take a break.
Great meals start from great beginnings. That's why we choose to offer you only the freshest, most delightful vegetables. We take pride in our quality meats because we know you take pride in your tender, juicy meals. It's no accident that the fruit you get from us is so succulent and sweet. We have quality beginnings so you can have satisfying endings. We're Lever's Super Value in Crookston, Devils Lake, Jamestown, Rolla, and Rugby.
The Sioux lead in total goals 7-4. 2-1 the score in the game with North Dakota on top. Herkus and Johnson scoring for the Sioux, Snuggerud for Minnesota. Now Blue rifles it around. It comes back to the Gophers. Orth stopped by Nakonechny. Carrying on is Scott Bloom, number 26. Bloom puts it in the slot off the stick of Benson. Granis pulled into by Paranika. And a face-off coming up here. Want to say a special hi to those of you watching on our Western stations, KBMY TV, Channel 17 in Bismarck, KMCY, Channel 14 in Minot. Of course, our flagship station, Channel 8 in Devils Lake and Grand Forks, WDAZ. We might remind you that Beach Boys special that was originally scheduled on ABC for last night will be seen tonight approximately 1/2 hour after this hockey game. Here's Dornfeld at the point, and it's blocked by Paranika. Down it goes into the Gopher end. Now Bloom loses the puck to Bowen. Bowen in front to Nakonechny, and that didn't develop. Bowen thrown into the boards by Dornfeld. Here is Steve Johnson, former Grand Forks Central skater, playing it out to the point. Held in by Benson. Oh, Nakonechny couldn't turn around on it. Now Nako in front. Johnson can't get the shot away. Johnson tries to center it. Dornfeld all over him. And screaming for a penalty. Still a loose puck. Nakonechny drops it back. Benson fires, and it's wide. Parent will tee it up. Throws it back for Nakonechny. Now Johnson will catch up with it. Steve Johnson trying to shrug off the check there by Dornfeld. Bloom can't get a stick down on it. Here's Nakonechny out to Bowen. Loose puck rolls right to Blue, who clears. Fans calling for a penalty behind the play on the Gophers. They're not going to get one, as icing is the call. I did see one of the Gophers holding a Sioux player's stick.
Well, what happened was the puck kind of popped loose, and Jeff Bowen was going after it, and he had his legs moving real hard like he always does. And he was hooked and kind of held, and I kind of have a feeling that he took a little dive, but because he knew that he wasn't going to be able to get to the puck because the Gopher player had, was kind of all over him. He had him held, but Mito evidently didn't think it was a penalty. No call.
3 minutes and 31 seconds to go in the second period. Grant Paranika walking down the Sioux runway. He blocked a shot with his body earlier, and he's probably going to be walking that off for the moment. Joyce skating in after the loose puck. It comes to Herkus in front. Joyce couldn't get a stick down on it as Millen tied him up. Now Snuggerud for Minnesota, blocked by Herkus. Still a loose puck. Herkus a shot. Blue the save. It's underneath him. Holy smokes. Blue didn't know where that was.
Well, here you'll see the quickness and accuracy of Tony Herkus' shot. John Blue was there's a good shot of it. He's looking behind him.
He's singing his prayers.
Watch Tony just spin and shoot this one. He gets a hard low shot up and almost slips behind Blue. Watch John Blue look behind him. Oh, did it go in, guys? No, it was under him. Nice save. Nice shot by Tony Herkus.
And that gets this capacity crowd riled up here at the UND Winter Sports Center. We're down to 3 minutes remaining in this second period of play. Game 2 of a 2-game total goal series. The Sioux leading in total goals 7-4. Bobak after it in the corner with Chopek. And the two number 25s tie up for it. We'll face it off. During that first intermission, they had a ceremony on the ice here for two UND wrestlers, 134-pound Andy Lear and 158-pound Corey Mosier, who are going on to the NCAA Division I Nationals next week at the University of Maryland. Corey Mosier was the NCAA Division II champion at 158, and Andy Lear the runner-up at 134. So our best wishes to those two Sioux wrestlers next week.
The wrestling program has done a fine job this year. They've got a lot of interest. perked in wrestling, and it's been a while in Grand Forks since this much.
Here's Davidson with a chance as Johnson took the initial shot, but the puck was bouncing. Now Broughton scoops it up. Gets it by Benson, and back to get it is Lemoyne. We'll get back to wrestling in a moment. Brad Kerr doing a fine job as Sioux coach. Here's a break for UND, 2-on-1. Davidson with Johnson. Davidson to Johnson. Johnson, a shot and a goal!
What a super play by Lee Davidson. He'll get his feet moving here, and he knows it's a 2-on-1. He knows Steve Johnson is with him. Steve Johnson's breaking hard for the net. Lee flips a nice pass. Johnson gets it on his backhand to his forehand into the open net. Pretty goal by both players. See Johnson, he's working hard. He's got to get ahead of Berglund's chasing him there. Berglund's still chasing him. Takes a whack at him. Johnson maintains it, keeps the puck, gets it on his backhand, makes nice control, nice move, and puts it into the open net. Big goal.
Steve Johnson of Grand Forks, North Dakota, with his second goal of the game. Number 24 for the season. Davidson, the lone assist at 17:35, and it's 3-1 in favor of the Sioux. The total goals scoreboard reads North Dakota 8, Minnesota 4, and that's the main thing. Picking it up again is Davidson. Davidson, a shot, and that's deflected high off the glass. Benson holding it in. Gophers try to clear it. Intended for Hankinson, and Krumpetich intervenes. Now Lemoyne plays it over. This is Benson back to Lemoyne. Held in at the line by Broughton. A screen shot and the save by Belfour. The rebound comes to Krumpetich. Had a breakout attempt there to Davidson, and Dornfeld is there. Puck hops over Davidson's stick. Berglund spins him around. Lemoyne retrieves for the Sioux. Knocked down by Jay Cates. The junior from Stillwater with a shot, and Belfour scoops it up. .137 to go.
There's the long shot. Eddie's got her under control. The shot previous to that, there was about 3 or 4 guys directly in front of Eddie Belfour, and he was getting down. He was almost on his belly trying to see what was going on, and he couldn't see it, and all of a sudden the puck hit him. He didn't see that puck at all.
False start will face it off again.
That's another job of a defenseman, is to clear guys out so the goaltender can see, because you know when there's a lot of bodies in front of the net, he just can't see the puck.
Here's Richards dumping it in. Loose puck at the side. Crashing after it back of the net now, and the whistle blows. And a face-off coming up here with 1:26 remaining in the second period.
Anyway, what I was finishing saying was they've done a nice job, and the interest in Grand Forks is nice to see with the wrestling. And when the Bison came to town and everything, it was a lot of fun for everybody.
And not just the college scene, but the high schools as well, with Central and Red River doing pretty well at state. Parks goes down. Fans call for a penalty, but Mito Martinello does not. Now Cates losing control to Scott Doob, who sends it back to the Gopher line. Chopek sweeps in for it. Parks pestering him. Here's McSwain clearing it over. David Granis goes down, and his helmet goes flying. And the Sioux fans love every minute of that. We've got 47 seconds to go in the period. Bouncing puck cleared. Icing will be the call here against UND with 38 seconds to go. And now, what do we got? Doob and Skarda exchanging a few shoves there. The linesmen, Mike Tock and Bill Wassenaar, step in to stop that.
Well, both players were going full blast to see if they could get that icing called off, especially Scotty Doob, but wanted it called off. And whenever you get the jets going like that and there's a collision, there's usually some after the whistle garbage going on.
There's Gopher coach Doug Woog with his players in a huddle. He likes to try these mini timeouts without calling a timeout. Had a couple of those last night. Total goals, North Dakota leads at 8-4. In this game, it's 3-1. Ooh, Randy Scarta with a big shoulder block there on Bob Joyce. Puck comes to Lemoyne. Over for Bobick now. He's ridden off the play by Cates. This is Millen with the puck. Sends it in front. It hits traffic. And Brent Bobick clears it for North Dakota. Over here for Joyce. Dumps it down the ice. Will Herkus get to it? Yes, he will. Herkus a shot. Blocker saved by Blue. The rebound. Herkus scores! An incredible goal by Tony Herkus.
Well, here you see it. The rebound goes behind the net. Bobick kind of kicks it. Right there, it bounces to Herkus. Just steps in front and puts it in the far corner. As he's going down, he's halfway down when that puck goes in the net. Here's another angle. Tony Herkus has done this so many times. Look at that. On one skate, loses the other. Just an amazing, amazing goal.
The goal coming with 7 seconds left. Herkus is second of the night, 43rd of the season from Bobick. And the second period ends. Listen to this. You would think that the game is over from this ovation. But in fact, we have 1 period to go.
Well, I tell you what, Patrick, the fans in the Winter Sports Center and around North Dakota can feel it now. It's been too long since they've been in the national tournament, and they've got 1 period to Broadway, and they're in the national NCAA quarterfinals.
4-1 North Dakota after 2 periods. Total goals, North Dakota 9 and Minnesota 4. Well, as you say, Dean, that with 7 seconds left, now everyone can taste it.
You know, we talked about it last night, too. The goals with a minute to go in the period and a minute into the period are the momentum breakers. And, you know, every goal that's been scored this period, I catch myself saying that's a big goal. But this one makes it a 5-goal lead with the period to go. And the manner in which that goal was scored with 7 seconds left in the period, Tony Herkus doing what he does best, stuffing the puck. He's probably done that 10 or 12 times this year. You know, it's somewhat of a backbreaker. And like I say, we've got 1 period to Broadway, and the Sioux are in the quarterfinals.
And our second intermission guest will be Minnesota winger Tim Berglund. We'll have that interview after this.
Got your money? Why, Voda's tax sale will make you happy with Kangaback tax sale $7.99 a yard, tax sale $6.99, tax sale $5.99, tax sale $4.99 a yard.
What's Voda's deal? Any brand from any mill will sell you for less money. Otherwise, you might buy it from them other guys.
Dedication, attention to detail, and caring. At Realty World, we believe these qualities are the most important considerations in helping people with the purchase or sale of their home. It's our people who make the difference and get the results. Because at Realty World, it's not just the quality of the material our jackets are made of, but the quality of the people who wear them.
Call the results people. Realty World Town and Country Real Estate, 746-8477.
It's there when you need it. 60 minutes max.
Introducing 1-hour speed service from Advanced Business Methods. When you're under the gun and the copier goes down, call us and we'll have you up and running in no time.
60 minutes max.
So when the pressure is on and the copier goes down, remember.
It's there when you need it.
Speed service.
60 minutes.
from Advanced Business Methods.
60 minutes left. Speed service. 60 minutes left.
Game 2 of this two-game total goal series, the WCHA Playoff Championship. After 2 periods, it's North Dakota 4, Minnesota 1, and in total goals, North Dakota 9 and Minnesota 4. Things looking very good now for the Fighting Sioux. This is the last trip to Grand Forks for Minnesota Gopher left wing Tim Berglund of Thief River Falls. Berglund started his career in 1983 in a game against the Sioux, and now his career is drawing to a close. We talked to him earlier today. Here's that interview.
Tim, first of all, you're from Thief River Falls. This must be kind of a homecoming for you. Do you get a chance to see a lot of family and friends on a trip like this?
Oh, yeah, I know it's always nice for us people from up north to come up here and play. I know Paul and I enjoy it. It's a little more pressure, you know, on us. And, of course, my mom and dad and my family always come over, and they come down to the cities, not quite as often, but definitely when it's here, you know, it's 40 miles, and it's kind of nice.
When you come up here, is it, you mentioned the pressure. This has been a tough place for the Gophers to play in, hasn't it?
Yeah, lately, you know, this past year anyway, we haven't had a lot of luck up here. You know, it's been, you know, 3 close games. Last night was, you know, close up until the end. I know both goalies played good games, and both teams did, you know, and it's something that is expected, you know, top 2 teams in the league, and it's going to be another battle tonight.
You expect another close game tonight because, as you say, it always seems to be the pattern.
Yeah, you know, it's you know, we're going to have to come out and try, you know, get a couple goals right away, you know, try even things up. It's, you know, a long game, 60 minutes, and it's only 2 goals, so, you know, who knows what can happen.
Tim, you're a senior. This is your last year. Does that weigh on your mind at all as the season winds down that this is going to be it for you?
Yeah, you know, you think about it, like last weekend when we played Wisconsin, Friday night we lost, and I think, you know, geez, if we lose tomorrow night, man, you know, we might be done. And what am I going to do then, you know? And coming up here now, we know we kind of got something to sit back on. You know, we're going to be able to play next weekend, but we tried to block that out, and, you know, we heard that if we win both, you know, win the series, we might get home ice. And something we really got to strive for tonight.
How about the season you're having, Tim? Are you happy with the way it's been going?
Yeah, I am. You know, it started out kind of slow there for a while, and last half of the year it's picked up for me. It's, you know, my game, I think, isn't really a goal-scoring game. It's more of a check, and, you know, goals I get are kind of pluses to me, and I don't know what I'm going to be doing after this year, and things go right in the playoffs, who knows.
What about the Gopher team on the whole? I look at some of the injuries that you've had this year, thinking about Okerlund out for the year and Millen and Snuggerud, key players that have been out for key stretches, and still you've managed to stay up there near the top. How do you explain it?
Well, you know, I guess that, you know, can be attributed to our depth on our team. We got a lot of players that have had experience, and there's, you know, almost 10 players that are home now that didn't make the trip that have played. And there's guys that'll step in and give you 100%, and other guys pick it up when guys like Corey are hurt, and it's something that I guess is a plus for us.
You mentioned your future, how uncertain it was. You're a Washington Capitals draftee. Is there any hockey in your future?
Well, I hope so. You know, it's so hard to say. It's really speculative. I know I have, you know, a few options. I've talked to, you know, a friend, a teammate of mine, Kurt Larson, a couple years ago. He's from Moorhead, and he played with me, and he's been over in Europe playing a few years and talked to me about that. And I don't know, with Washington, I don't know what they think. You know, it's all up to them, really.
What's your major?
Business. Hit the business world after I'm done with hockey, I hope.
Any idea what you'd like to do in that end?
Not really. You know, I've been thinking about it a lot lately, and, you know, go to, you know, I kind of want to work, you know, something where I have more control myself, you know, open something up, you know, sole proprietorship of some sort, you know. I don't know.
Think you'd want to stay down south or come back home?
I've been thinking about that too. It's hard to say, you know. I got a lot of ties up here, and I'm starting to, you know, meet some more people down south too, but it's hard to say.
Decision. That seems to be the life of a college senior, and Tim Berglund will have to make some decisions. We wish him the best of luck. Tim, always great to see Tim Berglund back up here in his old home territory. We've got an update now on the ECAC playoff championship. It's St. Lawrence leading Harvard 2-1 after one period. St. Lawrence 2, Harvard 1 after one period of the ECAC championship game. St. Lawrence located in Canton, New York. Right here, North Dakota 4, Minnesota 1 after 2. We'll recap that second period right after this.
25 1986 special purchase cars are now on the lot at ID Motors. Choose from Nissan pickups, Pontiac 6000s, or Buick Skylarks, and many more. But the good news is the money you save. We promise you'll never buy a new car for less from any other dealer than right now at ID Motors. These aren't factory demos, but brand new 1986 cars with full factory warranty, many with cashback offers. So hurry to ID Motors right now and save thousands. ID Motors, right on the corner, always right on the price.
Community National Bank understands you. We're people who care, we're just like you. Professional services and friendly smiles. Full service banking that's right for you. Community National keeps working for you. Community National Bank understands you. Community National, people like you.
Attention team sponsors and managers. Area softball leagues are starting soon. Now's the time to visit Jarrell Sports Center to order your Russell Athletic team uniforms. At Jarrell Sports Center, we have a good supply of rugged, pro-tested Russell Athletic game jerseys and pants in stock. And if you want the look of the pros, Russell Athletics Eagle Express can deliver the custom uniforms you want in plenty of time for your first game. When you're playing your best, you want to wear the best. So come and get it now. Russell Athletic teamwear at Jarrell Sports Center, Devils Lake, and Grand Forks.
Potatoes are good for your body. Packed with nutrition, potatoes are a good source of vitamin C, B vitamins, and iron, and are high in carbohydrates to supply you with the energy you really need. They are also good for your waistline, only 110 calories in the average potato. Spring into March with a healthy appetite. Eat Red River Valley potatoes. They're good for you. This message brought to you by the Red River Valley Potato Growers Association.
Let's relive those second period goals now. The first power play goal of this series coming at 4:29 from North Dakota's Steve Johnson from Herkus and Parent.
Well, Tony Parent gets it in the middle here. He gets it up to Herkus. Herkus, watch this nice move. Real quick move to his right, causing the 2-on-1. He fakes a shot, gets it over to Johnson. Johnson makes no mistake in putting it upstairs. Now we'll see another angle. Main thing on those is you got to get it up above, and John Blue made a nice play there in trying to dive over, but Steve Johnson scored quite a few goals this year, made no mistake in putting it in.
Well, Minnesota got back into the game at 11:57 with Dave Snuggerud unassisted.
Well, Snuggerud just pesters Ian Kidd here. Ian will turn around, he's going to do his little pivot, pesters him one there, then gets underneath the stick right there and just gets it up enough to get the puck. Makes a real nice one move here, puts it underneath Eddie Belfour. Eddie didn't give him a lot to shoot at, but he made a nice one fake there. Once you make that fake, you can see when a player makes a fake like that, it kind of gets the goaltender moving, and when the goaltender moves, he has to spread his pads. And that one little move there, it looks little, but it opens up a lot of area underneath the goaltender.
Well, that cut the lead down to one goal. However, at 17:35, Johnson strikes again, his second of the period, 24th of the year, from Lee Davidson.
Watch this nice pass by Lee Davidson. He just gives it a little flip over the defenseman's stick. Little flip pass. Johnson gets it on his backhand, puts it into the open net. Nice play there by both guys. Davidson starts it by giving the flip pass over the defenseman's stick. See that? Johnson, nice play, gets it on his backhand, puts it on his forehand into the open net. He made that look easy, but that is a tough play to get the pass on your backhand, cut real quick to your forehand. He made it look easy, but that is a difficult play.
Speaking of making it look easy, with 7 seconds left in that period, Tony Herkus scores his second of the night, 43rd of the year from Bobick.
Well, Brent Bobick makes a nice play behind the net here. He goes in and he digs a puck out for Tony Herkus, which is what he's supposed to do. And from there, just let the camera do the talking from here on out. That's just an amazing play. I think I'll just let Mr. Herkus do the talking here. Just a tremendous, tremendous goal, and like I say, he's probably done that 10 or 12 times this year, and it's a spectacular goal because it happened so quickly. And like you were saying, you didn't even have a chance to say it's in the net because it already was, and he does things so quickly and sees things happening before 6,000 people, including us press box people up here, do have a chance to.
When you're talking about Tony Herkus, no words are necessary, just the pictures. We'll be back with the third period right after these messages.
I'm Chris Lander.
And I'm Clint Ronigan, Jr.
We're here to talk insurance.
Any and all kinds of insurance. Home, auto, fire.
Business, farm, even your life. We're independent insurance agents, and we can put it all together for you.
You can see we're easy to talk with, and we're proud of our teamwork at Freilich, Paulson, Moore.
Stop in and see us, right next to Goodwin's on South Washington.
There's something uniquely different about Solom's Country Store, their butcher shop. The difference is in the selection and care that is taken in the preparation with USDA choice beef, farm fresh grade A chicken, and a variety of fish. There's definitely a vast selection, and Solom's qualified staff takes the extra time to cut and trim your meat to make the difference in the preparation. But the real test is in the taste, and that's what makes the difference at Solom's Country Store.
An invitation you can't decline.
Welcome to an unprecedented evening of fine dining. Subtle romance for a night of excitement. We invite you to the Elks.
Updated and unimitated, uniquely yours. The Elks.
The third period about to get underway. Pat Sweeney here with Dean Barsness at the UND Winter Sports Center. Again, the winner of this series will likely get home ice in the first round of the NCAA tournament. We say likely, but both teams will likely advance to the NCAA. The goalie saves in that second period. Belfour had 7 for a two-period total of 18. Blue had 6 for a two-period total of 9. And now the Gophers are making a change in goal, inserting Rob Stauber, the freshman from Duluth, pulling John Blue. As the issue is pretty well decided, the Gophers trailing by 5 goals in a 2-game total goal series with 1 period to go in Grand Forks. Not exactly the easiest deficit to make up in this building.
Well, and I think they realize too, you know, Stauber is going to be their up-and-coming goalie, just being a freshman. They want to give him some playoff experience, and also at the same time give John Blue a well-needed rest, because Minnesota believes, as a lot of people do, that if they lose this series, they're going to be in the quarterfinals next weekend. So evidently they still think that.
The third period is underway now. Action in the Gopher zone, but Tom Chorsky brings it out for Minnesota. Now Dave Snuggerud, number 18. Snuggerud gets a weak pass away. Kidd catches up to it. He bumps in there with Chopek. Chopek gives him a left to the head, and a penalty coming up here on Chopek. He didn't get away with that one. Belfour skates to the bench. As soon as Minnesota touches the puck, they'll blow the whistle, but it's offside, so the whistle blows, and now the Gophers will be penalized. Chopek just wound up and gave a left hook from behind to the side of the head of Ian Kidd.
Just shows a little frustration, you know, if here you are in the third period, your team's down 4-1, lost last night, you're going to be a little frustrated being on the road. Everything kind of mounts up, and sometimes you just, what they call snapped, and you just do things that, you know, you look in a videotape the next day and you wonder, again, how you can do that, but in the heat of the battle and your emotions get carried away, and frustrating, and all those things mount up, and you do things like that.
Shopek for holding at 36 seconds. And the Gophers clear it out to center. North Dakota has one power play goal tonight, that from Steve Johnson, as Joyce brings it in. Bob Joyce slapping it back of the net. Krumpetich trying to catch up with it now. He does. Paul Broughton skating after him. Joyce out to Kidd. Kidd through a screen. It hits Krumpetich in front. Kidd grabs it back again now. It gets through Joyce. Kidd sent spilling by Dornfeld. Now Johnson setting it up. Back of the net, it's Joyce. Trying to get the pass away, and Dornfeld falls on top of him. Now it's Johnson. Passing it out too far for Herkus. And the Sioux have to go back for it. Gophers send out some fresh troops. Herkus gets by Berglund. Trying to get around Snuggerud now. Herkus dumps it in. Rob Stauber, number 1. Banks it off the boards. Benson pinching in. Flips to Berglund. Still a loose puck. Snuggerud clears it. With 44 seconds remaining on the penalty to Shopek. Here is Koborinsky wheeling for the Sioux. Gets around Snuggerud. Kober into Gopher ice with Davidson behind him. Leaves it for Davidson. Out it comes to Krumpetich. Over for Benson. Back to Mickey Krumpetich. Setting up that power play now. The puck will roll to Parks. 22 seconds to go. On the man advantage. It's Benson shoveling it over for Parks into the corner. Krumpetich goes after it. Still a battle for it. It squirts loose, and it's cleared by the Gophers, and that should do it with 6 seconds to go on the penalty to Shopek. Parks stops it at the line, and it is whistled offside. 1 second remaining, and Shopek will be out. The NCAA committee, we should point out, probably will see the 4 Western teams tomorrow. And it's unlikely that the tournament committee will make the Eastern seeds until after the Hockey East playoffs are finished Monday night at the Boston Gardens. So we'll hope to find out some information tomorrow night as to where the Sioux are seated in the West. And at this point, we also do not know if we will be televising next week's series. We certainly hope we'll be back on the air, but we too have to wait word from the NCAA about television coverage. That is a separate bid from the WCHA. Chorsky cutting in, and it's cleared aside by Lemoyne. Cates keeps it in front, deflected, and a goal! Chorsky!
Well, don't count the Gophers out yet. They keep going. A shot from the point. I believe it was Shopek. No, let's see who it was. Cates came back, took the shot, and Chorsky just deflected it. Just trickled in behind Eddie Belfour. I think Chorsky may have deflected it halfway up the shaft of his stick, and really didn't, it really took a lot off the puck. It was almost like a changeup in a baseball pitch, and Eddie had his legs sprawled apart, and it just rolled underneath his legs.
Chorsky with his 17th of the season, matching his jersey number. Cates will get 1 assist. They credit McSwain with another. 2:52 the time. And it's 4-2. There's a chance coming over to the near side now. Big jam up along the boards, and it squirts loose to Doob, who gives a shot to the head of Richards. The whistle blows. And I don't know what the call is, to be perfectly honest about it. Unless it was a possible hand pass. I did not see what caused the whistle. In any case, Chorsky from Cates and McSwain at 2:52, making it 4-2 North Dakota. The total goal scoreboard has North Dakota leading 9-5. Here is Cates again off the draw. McSwain cuts in, loses it. Backhand by Cates, and it's wide. Barron plays it, but it's picked up by Pitlick. Loose puck in the slot, and here's Kidd for North Dakota. Ahead to Paranika, it's off his stick. Flips outside the line now, back in it goes. Delayed offside here on the Sioux. If they touch the puck, but the Gophers clear the zone. Chorsky again. Racing after it, here's Dornfeld cranking, and it's wide of the mark. Pitlick can't hold it in, and he has to go back. 16:08 to go in the third period. Intercepted by Benson now for North Dakota. He runs into a stiff check from Dornfeld. Steve Orth carries on, playing it over for Pitlick. Up ahead to Scott Bloom. Stopped there by Joyce. It's in their skates. Now Paranika with it. Waits for his teammates to get onside and shoots it wide. Oh, it comes out at a funny angle right through the crease. Stauber didn't even see it. Now Stauber way out of his net. Look out. Joyce tried to knock it down. Now it gets by Lemoyne on the check from Orth. He and Benson. Bump on the play. Lead pass intercepted now, but Bobick carries away. Bobick shoots. Stauber gets a piece of it, and it goes wide. This is Grannis for the Gophers. Stopped it. Center ice by Herkus, and now Joyce picking it up. Joyce in on goal. A shot. Stopped cold by Stauber. Sprawling to make the save. Barron a shot deflected wide. Loose puck again. Joyce can't get his stick down on it. Oh, Stauber lost his goalie stick. Here's Herkus with it. In front. And it's stolen away by Millen. It hits Stauber's goalie stick lying in the circle. Cleared to the slot. This is Snuggerud trying to clear it. He does. Now Stauber goes out and retrieves his stick. Millen with the puck. Backhand save by Belfour. End to end we go. Here come the Sioux. 3-on-2 with Herkus. Herkus has Bobick in the slot. Puts it through everybody. Now it's Millen teeing it up for Bloom. Over here, Snuggerud moving in. He's tied up by Ian Kidd. And Kidd skates out of there for North Dakota. Up ahead to Johnson. 2-on-1. Johnson to Kropotich. Saved by Stauber. It's underneath him. The defenseman fell on top of it.
Well, let's pick up the replay. Johnson puts it over to Kropotich, who just is going to one-time it. Boom. Takes a shot. Nice save by Stauber. And you'll see the defenseman here jump on top of the puck. Look at him. He's going to dive on it. That should be at least delay of game, if not a penalty shot. When a defenseman or any player jumps on the puck and freezes it while in the crease, can be a penalty shot, and at least should be a delay of game. Stauber then jumped on top of that player to make it appear that he was saving the puck, actually. So he kind of saved a penalty there.
It's 4-2. North Dakota leading the Gophers with 14:06 to go, period 3. The lead pass goes down. Icing is the call.
Oh, you see some good end-to-end action there as you see Michael Lemoyne, Grand Forks Red River product.
I was waiting for you to say Red River.
There aren't many of us from Red River that have had the opportunity to play in this league, so we have to kind of stick together. We're a small group, hopefully to get bigger in the future.
See your twin brother, or one of your, not that you have a twin brother, but you have brothers who happen to be twins, and I see one of them tonight, but I can never tell them apart.
Yeah, I know. He's affecting my concentration. I don't know if he knows that or not.
Which one is it?
That's Tim.
Okay. Sitting right in front of our broadcast booth.
I better mention his girlfriend Joan to her. She'd be upset.
Okay. We got everybody here tonight. As Berglund muscling along the boards with Lemoyne. Now it's Hankinson and Parent as Kropotich sweeps in for the loose puck. Ducks a check, and here's Davidson. Dumping it in for UND. Taken by the Gophers, and here's Paul Broughton, number 7. A long shot off the pad of Belfour, and Barron guides it away. It's Johnson in the skates, intercepted by Broughton, and the Gophers complete the line change. Big Murray Barrett over for Kobarinski, who clears it all the way up. Will Parks get to it? Stauber out of the net. Stauber clears it along the boards. Thrown in the slot. Cates bouncing puck. Kobarinski fans on it. Now Dube with the puck. Has Parks in the slot. Tied up by Cates. 4-player tie-up and a face-off coming up. This is Sioux hockey.
It's time again for our annual spring marathon sale. We've got great buys on Fisher stereos, TVs, and VCRs like the new FVH 4000, probably the easiest to use VCR you've ever seen. To play a movie, all you do is slip in the tape, sit back, and the machine does all the rest. And when the movie's over, it even rewinds the tape and shuts itself off. And we've got special financing available with no down payment till June. So stop in and see our full line on sale right now during our annual Spring Marathon sale at Maury's.
Back to the action here with 12:43 remaining. Scott Doob is in the runway adjacent to the Sioux bench again and being attended to by trainer Boyd Murray. Doob was shaken up earlier in the game. We'll see if he comes back out on the ice. Terry Nakonechny taking his place on this line. Nako pokes it back in the net. McSwain tees it up for Espy. Around the boards it'll come to Mal Parks. Intercepted. Komaritsky, a shot, and Stauber stops it right there in front. Now Skarda with a nifty backhand pass to McSwain. Leaving it. Cates and Granis can't decide who wants it. Back comes Ian Kidd. Held in by Espy. And Barron clears it down the ice. This will be icing. We'll take a 10-second timeout. This is Sioux Hockey.
Cost Cutters cuts the cost of quality hair care. And at Cost Cutters, the only difference in our quality perms and fashion cuts is the price.
12 minutes and 7 seconds. That's how long the Sioux have to go to a WCHA playoff championship. The Sioux win tonight. They would set the team record for wins as Belfour makes a big stop off the draw. Millen in the corner now. Wrapped up by Lemoyne. Dribbles loose over for Joyce. He and Richards bump in after it. Shorsky tied up on the play. Now Millen losing it to Herkus. Here comes UND 3-on-2. Herkus trying to run through the Gopher defender, Chopek. And Millen tosses it blindly back, and Chopek has to retrieve. The Sioux have 35 wins. That ties the record set by the 1981-82 team. Now Richards picking up the loose puck. Over here for Chorsky in front. A shot by Richards, and it's underneath and a goal. Will it count? It will. I thought I heard the whistle, but apparently the goal will stand.
Well, let's see it here. Passes out front, and I believe it's number 16, Todd Richards, in front, takes the shot, and then Chopek comes in and shoves the rebound in, and I thought I heard the whistle first. There you'll see...
I did too.
There you'll see Richards take the shot, and Chopek get in there and just kind of jams at it. It appeared to be under Belfour. I thought I heard a whistle. Pat, you did too. Whether or not the Sioux relaxed after hearing the whistle, I don't know, but it's ruled a goal.
Now the Sioux player Krumpetich skates dangerously in front of his own net. Here's Krumpetich to Johnson in the clear. Johnson, a shot and a snare there by Stauber. We'll recap the scoring in a moment.
Well, nice play here by Steve Johnson. Good pass by Mickey Krumpetich to get it to Johnson. Johnson had a defenseman right on his right side, so he couldn't do a lot. Put it to his backhand and put a shot up. Actually, a nice shot. Stauber was going the other way, just got the glove hand on it.
Well, the official scoring on that goal reads Chopek, his 12th of the season, from Chorsky and Snuggerud. I thought Richards was involved in the play, but they give the assist to Chorsky and Snuggerud. 4-3, the Sioux lead. And now it's 9-6 in total goals. We've got 10:51 remaining in the game. And let's not speak too soon. Perhaps the Gophers staging a comeback here with 2 goals in the third period. Loose puck in front. Hankinson gets it back, but it's right to Davidson. Ahead to Johnson on a break. Johnson a shot, and another glove save by Stauber. And now Broughton exchanging a shove with Davidson behind the net, and nothing comes of that.
Oh, nice shot by Steve Johnson. Stauber again, just getting the glove hand out there. Nice play by Davidson to get it up to Johnson, and again, Steve knew he couldn't get much closer than that. He had a defenseman coming at him. Decided to take the slap shot, and Steve Johnson, one of the premier shooters in the WCHA, and he can shoot with the best of them. And just this year, he has come to realize that he is the type of shooter that he is, and he's using his shot a lot more this year than he has in the previous year, and resulting in a heck of a lot better goal production for him.
Now two number 14s about to face it off, Davidson and Cates. Puck comes back to Todd Richards, number 16. Coughed up, Johnson drops it back, Davidson. Try to get it to Johnson, and it's intercepted by the Gophers, but not out. Davidson intended for Johnson, and Richards intercepts. Here is Cates now at center ice. Davidson checks him off the play. Carrying on, though, is McSwain, who directs it in. Big traffic jam. Digging it loose is McSwain. Out it comes. Cates, a shot, and Belfour scoops it up. A stop in play. We'll take a break.
Huge selection and huge savings. We're talking pretty big now. Right now at Valley Honda and ready for immediate delivery. 1987 Honda Civics as low as $69.29 or lease for just $139.99 per month. 1987 Honda Accords as low as $99.99 or lease for just $199.93 per month. Or 1987 Honda Preludes as low as $11,995 or lease for just $245.41 per month. Huge selection and huge savings at Valley Honda out west on Gateway Drive.
9:59 to go in regulation.
Well, again, people jumping in a little too fast. The linesman likes him to stay outside of the circle until the puck is dropped.
Scott Dube back on this Koborinsky line, so apparently he's okay. Koborinsky checking Millen. Kober loses his stick. Now the Gophers try to stuff it in, and Belfour stops the Gopher player cold at the side of the net. I believe that was Snuggerud.
That is the importance of a goaltender keeping his skate right on that pipe. Belfour does that very well. How people come around and stuff it like Herkus always does. It's very important to keep that skate, and if he wouldn't have had that skate right on the pipe, that would have been a goal.
Eddie's legs look like a wishbone on that play. 4-3, the Sioux leading the Gophers here in game 2. But it's a total goal series, and the Sioux lead in total goals 9-6.
Then again, if it's Herkus and the goaltender's got his skate against one pipe, he just fires it at the other pipe into the net.
Herkus and Millen on the draw, two of the top centers in the league. In fact, Herkus first team WCHA, Millen second team. The Gophers intercept, taken away by Herkus, however. Batted back in by Snuggerud. Herkus gets it back to Joyce. Now Herkus. Here come the Sioux. Bob Joyce trying to get around Richards, and Chopek swoops in for it. Loose puck. Directed ahead off the stick of Chorsky. Barron tries to pin him against the boards. Bobick playing it in the clear to Joyce. Here's Joyce moving in. Joyce a shot. The save by Stauber, and the rebound comes right to the Gopher defender. Oh, three Sioux players go down in a heap way back of the play. 3-on-2 break for the Gophers. Snuggerud. Passing off to Millen. In the slot. Backhand. Pitlick blocked by Benson. Here is Joyce. Joyce all alone as the Sioux changing lines. Oh, Joyce takes a shot from Pitlick. Puck flips into the Gopher bench, and the whistle blows. I don't know if our camera picked it up, but as the Gophers were coming down the ice, the Sioux had three players go down in a pile here in the corner to our right.
The Herkus Circus looked like the Herkus pile up there for a while. Bobby Joyce and Tony Herkus kind of collided with each other, and Bobick seemed, hey, guys, I don't want to miss out on the fun. He kind of jumped in. They were all just kind of piled up while Minnesota had a 4-on-2 going down on the other end.
That's the clown act in the Herkus Circus, I guess. Here's McSwain backhanding it in to Scott Bloom, looking for help. Bloom with Lemoyne on top of him. 8:24 to go. Shot back in, and that's wide. Parks clears it to center. Scooping it up is Dube. Here's a break for the Sioux. Dube checked off the play by Dornfeld, and a penalty coming up here. Interference on the Gophers, and Dornfeld trying to get Dube off with him. But Dube does not retaliate.
Well, here it is. Scotty Dube's trying to get at the puck. See, the reason that that's interference now, see, the puck is away from Scotty Doob. He isn't in control of the puck. The puck's, 5 or 6 feet away from him. He's trying to get at it, and the other player interferes with him. That's why it was interference. Now, if Scotty Doob would have had possession of that puck, and the guy would have come in, of course, then the play would have went on. Again, one of those subjective calls, judgmental calls, I guess, where, the referee's got to decide if the puck is close enough for that guy to legitimately come in and take the man, or if it's, in that case, far enough away for it is an obvious interference.
2 minutes on Dornfeld. The time of the penalty, 11:47. So a power play chance for the Sioux here. They lead in the game 4-3. They lead in total goals 9-6. Krupovich swatting it in for UND. Stauber watches it go by. Herkus knocks it down. This is Davidson playing the puck. Flips it back, and it's picked off by the Gophers. Here is Chopek. Trying to skate off time on that penalty. And he clears it down into the North Dakota end. Broughton in there to check, but Kidd starts back the other way. Kidd with Hankinson on him, stolen away by Richards. Todd Richards, fans on it. Carrying on, Tony Herkus. Herkus a shot, the save by Stauber, the rebound in front. Davidson scores!
Well, Tony Herkus starts this one again. There's Ian Kidd in there trying to get it, and it just kind of sits there. Tony Herkus grabs it, gets over the blue, and takes a nice low shot here. Stauber with the save. Doesn't get the rebound, though. Herkus takes a swat. Johnson takes a swat. Lee Davidson hits the open net. Pretty goal.
Lee Davidson with his 14th goal of the season. Herkus and Johnson assisting at 12:26. And the Sioux take a 5-3 lead in game 2. And a 10-6 lead in total goals. A power play goal. Second of the night for UND. Around it comes. Parks tries to clear it. No go. Shot in from the point by Espy. Hits traffic. Backhand by Cates. Hits traffic. Nakonechny clears it. Icing will be the call, but Parks will get to it first. Parks gets it to Nakonechny. Nako with a shot. Stauber stops that. And Nakonechny takes an elbow to the chin from Randy Skarda.
Well, I'm sure that's a big load lifted off the Sioux shoulders, scoring that 5th goal. I'm sure when the Sioux were in the locker room, Gino Gasparini was stressing, hey, let's win this game. Let's win this hockey game. Forget about the total goal series. Let's just concentrate on winning this hockey game. And I think especially when the score became 4-3, that was really stressed. Hey, what we can do right now with 10 minutes remaining, it's 4-3. Let's just concentrate on winning the hockey game, and everything else will take care of itself. And that goal is a very, very big step in that direction.
Well, we've got 7:06 remaining in the game. And the Sioux want to make a last-minute change here. And they won't be able to do it. They wanted to get Herkus and Joyce out there in place of Davidson and Johnson, but Mito Martinello, the referee, says no. Krupovich tees it up for Ian Kidd. Over to Johnson in front, blocked by a stick and scooped up by Rob Stauber. And here is Millen and Davidson. And now Davidson is hauled down. Was that Millen? Somebody grabbed him around the neck. And now it's all breaking loose. Well, this usually happens at least once when these teams get together, and it finally happened right now. Not that we enjoy seeing it, but frustration mounting here on the part of Minnesota. And Lance Pitlick, number 6, will be sent to the penalty box.
Well, I tell you, for either team at this point, it's foolish to get in any kind of skirmishes because, you know, you've got next weekend, and both of these teams realistically are going to be in it next weekend as far as the speculation goes. And getting into that kind of a thing, get kicked out for next game, what's it proving?
We'll take a break. This is Sioux Hockey.
For years, the Riverbend brought you the best in distinguished dining. And now they're offering you a night of romantic excitement with a chauffeured limousine service. Just contact the Riverbend and they'll pick you up in style with an elegant white limousine and take you to a splendid evening of fine dining, great service, and romantic atmosphere. So don't just go out for supper. Make it an event with us at the Riverbend. The Riverbend, Highway 2 East, East Grand Forks.
Well, 2 players in the box for Minnesota, 1 player in the box for North Dakota. Pitlick gets 2 for roughing. Snuggerud, 2 for high sticking. And for North Dakota, Johnson, 2 for high sticking. So the Sioux will get a man advantage out of this. 4 on 3. Doug Woog taking his time about getting his players out there, and now it looks like we're set to go. Minnesota playing 2 men short. Gives it up right to Joyce, and it goes all the way back into the North Dakota zone where Herkus takes control. This is Krumpetich, number 8. Into Minnesota territory. Stauber roaming out of the net again. And it's Krumpetich out to Herkus. He shoots. Stopped by Stauber. The rebound. Directed out of traffic by Corey Millen nicely. Here's Millen. Cutting in. Millen tripped up by Belfour, and a penalty here. Coming up on the Sioux. As Stauber skates to the Gopher bench, Krumpetich touches the puck. And a hooking call here. Coming up on the Sioux. Herkus skating into the box.
Well, here you see Tony Herkus trying to get the angle. Millen just gets a step on him, and Tony gets his stick. His stick even stays on Corey Millen's shoulder. Got a stick around Corey Millen's shoulder, and that could have either been hook or high sticking. Once Millen gets that step on you, like we were talking about last night, the pure skater he is, he's got so much speed and so much quick acceleration that if he gets a step on you, he's gone.
Herkus for hooking at 13:44. So now it'll be 3 on 3 for 1:17. And then the Gophers will have a man advantage for 43 seconds, barring further penalties. We've got a lot of room to maneuver now.
This is fun for players. They've got a lot of room. They get a chance to use their individual skills, and it's kind of a different feeling than 5 on 5.
Wide open hockey here as Kobarinski's shot is blocked at the defense by Richards, and sweeping in for it is Shopek. Shopek, Millen, and Richards out for the Gophers. Kobarinski, Perrin, and Benson out for the Sioux. Here is Millen. Over to Shopek. Skating around now as the Sioux get crossed up. Shopek still in possession. A shot. The pad save Belfour. And the Sioux start back. Benson's pass stopped by Shopek, who loses his stick. Now the Sioux get it outside the line. Kobarinski trying to get around Richards. Kobarinski and Richards still have a battle going on at the red line, and nothing is called. Here come the Gophers. Corey Millen dropping it for SB, broken up by Kidd. SB retrieves as McSwain hops off the bench. Here's McSwain with SB. Dropping it back now, Skarda closing in. Strung along by Joyce. 5-3, the Sioux lead it in game 2. With a face-off coming up here. 10-6, the Sioux have the advantage in total goals.
Oh, we've seen a lot of hitting this series. One of the more physical series that I can even remember this year, actually. And that really isn't characteristic of these two teams. These two teams are usually skating A lot of finesse, and even before last night's game, we predicted that, but it's been a really, really physical series, and there's going to be a lot of bruised up people after this hockey game.
3 seconds remaining on the penalties to Pitlick, Snuggerud, and Johnson. 46 seconds to go on the penalty to Herkus. And a timeout called here by the University of Minnesota with 5:02 remaining in regulation. And they let the players out of the penalty box to get involved in the huddles here. If the Sioux win tonight, they would win the WCHA playoff championship and break the school record of wins in a season with 35. Tomorrow night, the NCAA Tournament Committee will probably seed the 4 Western teams. We should know something by tomorrow night, at least we hope we do. However, the 4 Eastern seeds probably won't be seeded until after the Hockey East playoffs are over Monday night at Boston Garden. What they'll do is seed 4 teams from the West, 4 from the East. Number 1 in the West would play at home against the number 4 Eastern team. Number 2 in the West would play at home against the number 3 Eastern team, and so on.
And playing as number 4 seed from the West, playing out East against the number 1 seed from the East is like night and day between being at home against the number 4 team from the East. So there's a lot of difference. In Minnesota, in this case, if they would have won this series, of course, they would have been number 1 from the West. Now they have a chance of being the number 4 seed from the West and being on the road as opposed to at home. That is a big, big difference in playoff hockey.
Now the Gophers have a man advantage here for 33 seconds as the initial penalties have expired. Millen in the corner. McSwain, a bouncing puck, and a shot hits the side of the net by Snuggerud. Kept in by Richards. Over for Schopek. Into Millen. Off his stick. He can't control it. Koborinsky bumps him off the play. Now McSwain. In front, it's Richards winding up, but Koborinsky gets to it first. 5 seconds to go on Herkus's penalty. Here's Richards. Dumping it off. Snuggerud. Circling, looking for help. He shoots. It's blocked by Joyce and cleared by Koborinsky. Icing is waved off as Richards gets to it for the Gophers. Tapped out to center ice. Here's Johnson. Finally sending it up to Herkus. 2-on-1 with Krumpetich. Herkus shoots, the save, the rebound. Bounces right back to Stauber. You just don't know what Herkus is going to do.
You'll see again Tony Herkus's talents. It's a 2-on-1 now, and he stops. The defenseman kind of goes down, attempting to block the pass. Tony decides not to pass it, takes a good quick shot. The rebound comes back to Stauber, and he smothers it. But Herkus hesitates, so he makes the defenseman commit himself to either going down or going to the other player, going to him, which allows Tony to an open shot or either to pass.
Bouncing puck controlled by the Gophers. Tim Berglund racing in after it. He's bowled over by Benson. Action in the corner. Davidson spun around. Tries to play it the other way. Now he comes away with it. Flips it out to center. It bounces all the way to the Gopher zone. Icing waved off as the puck kind of dies there before it crossed the goal line. Cleared to the neutral zone. Hankinson to Paul Broughton. As the Gophers make a change on the fly. Batted down by Berglund. Here's Berglund tied up, teeing it out for Chorsky. A shot. Save Belfour. Oh, it looked like he had a little trouble there on the glove side.
Tom Chorsky makes a nice, quick, low shot here from the point. Eddie Belfour snaps it with his glove, and then it gets away from him, and he's got to come back at it. That puck almost rolled in the net.
Penalty on the play to Lee Davidson. So with 2:59 to go, Gophers will go on a power play. They trail by 2 goals in the game. They trail by 4 goals in total goals. Slashing on Davidson. 17:01. Incidentally, a new PA announcer tonight. You might not recognize that voice. That is John McLaughlin. Normally one of the press box crew, filling in tonight as Jim Hanley and Mark Brickson. The regular announcers couldn't make it. Snuggerud fans on the shot. And that gets a rise out of the Sioux crowd. Here is Richards again. A shot, stick save, the rebound. Millen shoots it high. Herkus now clears the zone. .132 to go on Davidson's penalty. Gophers have yet to score on the power play. Millen cuts in, dumps it back in the slot, bouncing puck, rolls out to the line. Here's Chopek slapping it back in. McSwain gathers it in to Millen. Back to McSwain. Joyce taps it off his stick. Everybody's wrapped up. Puck squirts loose. And Kidd sends it down the ice. One minute remaining. Scott Doob hits the ice, and the crowd says Doob. The pride of Park River, North Dakota, wearing number 19. Herkus slaps it down to eat off more time. Doob chasing in for it now as Stauber is there. Directs it to Richards as the Gophers change on the go. Here's Espy. Over for Hankinson wheeling in. Hankinson back to McSwain, to Cates. He's tied up, can't get the shot away. Still a loose puck, cleared but not out. Skarda gets it back to Espy. Weak shot goes in the corner. Now McSwain, 22 seconds on the penalty. Here's Skarda, trying to get around Benson in front. Picked off by Kobarinski. Stopped at the line by Skarda. Shot hits traffic, the rebound. Hankinson shoots. Belfour the save, the rebound. And everybody's piling on. Now Lemoyne wanting to go after Cates.
Well, let's see how that pile-up got started. Right here, point-blank shot by Hankinson. Then the pile-up begins. Boy, there must be 7 or 8 guys in that pile.
And still the conversation continues. We'll see if anyone is penalized. We've got 1:09 to go in this game. 10 seconds remaining on the penalty to Lee Davidson of North Dakota. And no penalties are called. 5-3, the Sioux lead it in the game. 10-6, the Sioux on top in total goals.
Well, you got to give Minnesota some credit. They were down 4-1 going into this period, and it just didn't look real good for them. But they didn't quit. They kept on and they kept on and they kept on, and they made it into a game, and it was an impressive third period for them.
Well, we're down to a minute to go now. Davidson's out of the box. And this crowd getting ready to erupt as the Gophers shoot it in. Hankinson playing it over for Granis. Sends it in traffic. Bounces right to Richards, a shot, and that's wide. Chopek pinching in, but it's stopped by Herkus. And now some shoving with Barron and Cates, and here they go. Big Murray Barron, 6'3", Jay Cates, 6'0". And they are down on the ice, it looks like. We don't know if Cates took a shot at Belfour or what, but
he did take a shot at Belfour. I was watching right in front of the net while the play was coming out of the zone, and Cates...
WCHA regular season championship. The final score again tonight, North Dakota 5, Minnesota 3 in Game 2, and the Sioux win the total goal series 10-6. Next week, the Sioux will likely be at home in the first round of the NCAA playoffs. Again, that will be determined sometime tomorrow or Monday evening. as the NCAA Tournament Committee makes its seedings for the Final 8. We'll be back to recap the game right after this.
Modern Chrysler Center is going to break all sales records, receive 3.7% financing and or rebates up to $1,500 on most new units. We will not be undersold. Save up to $1,000 more on demos. All used vehicles have been drastically reduced with sale prices clearly marked in the windshield. Plus, many qualify for 5.9% factory financing for 48 months. Get a free Everglow kerosene heater. So hurry out to our record-breaking sale at Modern Chrysler, AMC, Jeep Renault, Grand Forks.
My amigo Juan just came out from Mexico, so I'm introducing him to my American friend Larry and our favorite beer, Miller Lite.
Por favor. Juan, mi Miller Lite de gusto porque it tastes muy bueno.
Larry.
Ladies, mimosa calorías and no gusto filiopo. ¿El comprende?
No, not really.
For mucho great taste, there's only one light beer, Miller Lite.
Does your friend speak any English?
The 3 stars in tonight's game, the number 3 star Dave Snuggerud of the Gophers, number 2 Steve Johnson with a couple of goals and 1 assist for North Dakota, and the number 1 star Tony Herkus of the Sioux with 2 goals and 2 goals and 2 assists make that in a 5-3 victory for the North Dakota Sioux. They win the total goal series 10-6, and again, depending on the seeding of the Western teams tomorrow by the NCAA, the Sioux will probably get the number 1 seed in the West. I would assume so. They've been rated number 1 all season. They have now won 36 games so far this year. It would certainly be a crime if they didn't get that number 1 seed.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. And funny things happen with committees, I know that, but with the season that the Sioux have had and the way these 2 games ended up, I would imagine that will happen. This is another step in the ladder. This is one of the goals that you as a team at the beginning of the year, you set out to win the WCHA, then the WCHA playoffs, and then, of course, the national championship. They've done the 2. Now they're going to go after the 3rd.
As for Minnesota, they will probably be seated, we're guessing, 4th. Again, it will depend on the seeding committee tomorrow night, but that means that the Gophers will have to start the NCAA playoffs on the road out east. But right now, it looks as if the Sioux will be home next week in the NCAA Final 8. As for television coverage, we don't know yet. We have put our bid into the NCAA. We should have an announcement on that early next week. We're waiting along with you as to the TV coverage, and when we get word, we will pass it on to you. But for now, we can say that it's been great televising the Sioux games so far this season. Dean Barsness, it's great to have you along in the playoffs, and maybe we'll be back next week.
Hope to be here, Pat. You know, it's real exciting for everybody. It's exciting for us ex-players, for all the media involved, and there's 4 games to go, and hopefully we'll be playing in that last college hockey game on Saturday night in Detroit, and hopefully we can bring it along to you.
All right, the final again tonight, North Dakota 5, Minnesota 3. The Sioux win the WCHA playoff championship in total goals 10-6 and take home the Broadmoor Cup. For Dean Barsness, this is Pat Sweeney saying thanks for being with us and good night.
This has been WCHA Playoff Championship action with the UND Fighting Sioux and the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Tonight's game was sponsored by Miller Lite, Lever's Super Value and Warehouse Foods, Hanson Ford, First National Bank, Grand Forks, Acme Electric, Norby's Office Services, Thompson Insurance, Northern Liquidators, Valley Car Wash, Silverman's, the Grand Forks Convention and Visitors Bureau, Home of Economy, Fat Albert's, Modern Chrysler, Grand Forks Elks, Realty World Town and Country, ID Motors, Jarrell's, Grand Forks and Devil's Lake, Red River Valley Potato Growers, Fralick Paulson Moore Insurance, Solom's Country Store, and Valley Honda.